Turn the microphones on and we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully we are live and it is all going out. And welcome to a 3-player tutorial and playthrough of Civolution. Chris is joining me today. Steve is joining me. Before we start, just want to mention a few things. First of all, this is a sponsored video. A huge thank you to Deep Print Games for supporting the channel, sponsoring the playthrough video today. Because it's sponsored, I've gone through a number of extra steps that I wouldn't have gone through if it wasn't a sponsored video in properly learning how to play the game. Some of my non-sponsored videos, we might get the occasional rule wrong. Hopefully, we're not going to get any rules wrong today. If you are watching us live, thank you very much for watching us. Peter says it's too dark. It doesn't look too dark to me. It looks okay to me. If you do spot something that we get wrong as we are playing, please point it out in the chat. I hope we don't. I hope we get everything correct. But just in case, there will be some Klingon subtitles afterwards. So if you're watching this video back afterwards, turn on the Klingon subtitles and any corrections in the video will appear there should we make a play mistake as we're going. Other things to mention is the story about this game, for me, started almost a year ago now. They were demoing, and I say they, I mean Deep Print Games, who's the original publisher of the game. They were showing this game off at last year's Essen, which was October 2023. And even though this is a sponsored video and I'm not going to give you any of my personal opinions on the game, let me just preface it with Stefan Feld is one of my favourite designers. I've played more games of his than any other designer. I own more Stefan Feld games than any other designer, and I am generally a huge fan of his work. Deep Print Games do really good quality games. Civilization style games have always been my favourite style of game. So when I found out that Stefan Feld was doing a Civilization game,
all of these things coming,
my legs went quite wobbly, I will admit. And Stevie got a chance to play it at last year's Essen.
Yeah.
And you said to me,
I said, well, we showed up on Sunday hoping to watch a demo. Instead, we got to play in the demo. It was going to be a 4-hour demo, which if you've been to Essen, you don't really want to spend your whole Sunday on a single demo. But afterwards, I only half-jokingly asked them what amount of money I would need to go get from the bank machine for them to let me take the prototype home.
So you enjoyed it?
Quite a bit.
And what was it you said to me when you got back to the hotel that night? Knowing that
you let me know that you were going to try to set up doing the video, and I'm like, you tell me when and I will be there.
And the very next day I went back and spoke to the publisher and said, can I do a video for this game? And they said, it's not out until next year's Essen. I went, can I do a video for this game? So I'd actually agreed to do a video on this game almost a year ago. And Stevie has flown over all the way from Finland to be here because you enjoyed the game and you said, when you're covering it on the channel, I want to be there.
Well, to be honest, the whole rest of the weekend's been a blast.
Yes.
But this is the crowning moment.
This is the reason for this weekend. So we're going to dive in. We are not going to be doing a full tutorial at the start. A few reasons for that. First of all, it would be about an hour long. This is a heavy game. There is a lot going on in this game. We've all played the game. I've played it 4 or 5 times. You two have played it twice before, and you played it again last night. So we all know the game. I am going to be teaching you the rules as we play through. In the background, though, and I'm saying this is not relevant if you're watching this live, but I am currently in the process of creating one of my how to play videos for the game, which will be about an hour long, and it will literally teach you how to play the game. I'm hoping to have that video done in about 4 or 5 weeks' time. And I will put a link to it in the description of this video, but don't look for it right now because it's not there yet. I'm still working on it, and I'm hoping to get it done in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Could you say 750 line script?
It's about 750 lines in the script, yes. So if you're watching this video in like November or December 2024 or afterwards, and you think, I don't want to watch a 3-hour playthrough video, I'd prefer to watch just a how to play video, check the link in the description and that video will be there. Right, that said, off we go. The theme behind this game is actually quite interesting.
It's a simulation of early civilization.
Yes. So it's in the future. We're all students and we are studying at university and we are studying civilizations and how they come into being and how they grow and how they develop. And as part of our final exam, the school or the university has put on a computer simulation where we all get to play a civilization and we're trying to get as many points as we can get. And whoever gets the most points will
have the best grade,
qualify and get an A+, and the rest of us will go back to school and learn harder. Essentially, it's a civilization game, but if you're wondering why it's got a little bit of a futuristic look with the sort of brushed steel effect, it's because, yeah, it is a computer simulation of what's going on. But you will find a lot of the things which are common for a lot of civilization games. We are going to be exploring. We're going to be exploiting the land. We're going to be gathering resources. We're going to be transporting those resources. We're going to be building stuff. We're going to be inventing things. All of that stuff. Now, the game is played over 4, are they eras? They are eras. We're going to be playing over 4 eras. And if I just press, I hope I get the right button here. I think it's this one. Yes, this one. This is one of the player boards. This is one of the game boards. And we actually have the track here of the phases that we follow in each era. So we actually have 8 phases, if I can see correctly. Yeah, 8 phases. And we basically use this marker to go through each of the phases in turn. Now, phase 4 is the main action phase. This is where we are going to be doing lots and lots of stuff. But there are 3 phases that happen before that.
Quite short.
Which is the setup. And then we have sort of scoring tiles, feeding people, resolving the event, etc., etc. And we do this 4 times. Now, over here, we have some scoring tiles. These have been chosen at random. There are 9 of these tiles included in the game, and we've picked 4 of them for here. And this tells us which particular category of the game is going to score at the end of Era 1. And that scoring happens... Where does it happen? Here. Yep, step C is when we score this. So this is telling us that at the end of Era 1, we are going to score 5 points for each of our features that we have. And we'll come into this more later on. But the order in which these come out and which ones come out might determine your actions that you're going to take during the game. Era 2, we're going to score for how high we are on the prestige track. Era 3 is going to be how high we are on the technology track. And Era 4 is 2 points for each territory that we're in. Then there is also end of game scoring. And end of game scoring is on the other board, which is here. And the end of game scoring, what you do at the end of the game is you move the marker to here, and then you score for each of these categories. And you will notice, I don't know if you do notice, but that is the default scoring. But 3 of the other 9 scoring tiles that weren't used get put on here. So every game is going to be slightly different. And in this game, when the game ends, we're going to score for each of these 5 tracks. But the construction track is going to be worth more. We're going to score 1 point for each of our features, 2 points for each of our prosperity, 3 points for each of our tribes, and another 2 points for each territory we're in. And that's in addition to the 2 points that we were going to score at the end of Era 4. We also get points at the end of game for all of the cards that we play. Because if you look at our consoles, you will notice that there's this big trough here. And we are actually going to be installing various types of cards. We're going to be slotting them into here. And the more cards that we install, and the higher the stage that we install them, they're going to be worth points at the end of the game as well. That is a very, very rough overview of what it is that we're trying to do. I will explain the rest of the rules as we start playing. But before we start, we need to determine a starting player. I've rolled a 6.
I've also rolled a 6.
5.
We're all lucky today.
1.
No.
Also 1.
We may be here a while. A 1.
The 4-hour
There you
stream
go.
became a 4.5-hour stream.
So Stevie is the starting player. That stays there for the whole of the round, but there is a way that it will move at the end of the round. There is no action that you can take in order to move that. It is just something that happens at the end. Right. So let's go through the different phases and resolve them. Annika's here from Deep Green Games. Thank you very much, Annika, for joining in. And if anybody has any questions for Annika, such as what the weather is like where she is, or where people can get hold of the copy of this game, I believe it's on pre-order.
Pre-order at Essen.
For collection at Essen. If you are not going to Essen, then I am sad for you, and you should go to Essen. But if you can't make it to Essen, Annika will hopefully tell you what the distribution is going to be like. In America, it's Pegasus North America who are going to be doing the distribution in America. And hopefully they're going to be getting the game after not too long. Era 1, Phase 1, are we ready?
I think so.
Okay, yes. So the first thing we do is new cards. So what we have is we have 4 event cards here, which were randomly... How many event cards are there? There's like 30 of them, I think?
Yeah, quite a few.
Okay. Stevie has chosen the 4 cards that he wants.
That is not true.
He shuffled the deck, picked 4 at random, and we reveal that event. Now, that event tells us a few things. First of all, it tells us what the weather is going to change, how the weather is going to change at the end of the round. So we know the weather is currently mild, and it's going to drop by 1 step in the weather resolution phase, which is here, 7A. And then we're going to resolve the effect of where the weather is. So we can see that ahead of time. We know it's getting colder. We have very good weather forecasting in this part of the world. We also have this event. This event will be resolved in step 7b. And the event says that the civilization that has the highest combined total of gold, jade, and copper will gain 3 prestige. So if we tie, nobody gets it. You have to have more of that. So again, that might influence our actions. The next thing we do in the new cards phase is, and I'm going to press, I think it's this button here. There you go. We have 5 decks of cards. We have invention cards, we have mutation cards, we have insights, we have buildings, we have achievements. Each of us starts with one of each card. And when you're first playing the game, you actually want to take a set of cards with the same number. But when you know the game, there will be a little draft at the start of the game where you get, I think it's 2 of each deck, and you choose one to keep and then shuffle the cards back in. So at this point of the era, we reveal the top card of each stack and we put it onto the stack. When you're taking cards from here, you can either take the one that's face up on the top of the stack, or you can take the one from the top of the deck. We'll come on to these more later on, but at the start of next era, if nobody takes any cards, we will take the next one and we'll put it on top of that. Right, that is phase 1 done. Nice and simple. The next thing we do is we all, in player order, we get to take a new goal. So we all started with a goal. In the basic setup of the game, which is what we're playing today, we each got a random goal. But if you're playing the advanced game, there is a little bit of a selection method at the start where we would choose which goal we wanted. And there are other goals available. So I'm just going to move the light a bit because it's a little shiny on there. And apologies if that's a little bit dark, but what we have is in a 3-player game, we block off this space. So we have 5 goals. There is a big bag of goals in the game and 5 of them are available. What's going to happen now is in player order, we are each going to, if we want to, we don't have to, but we are going to, we're going to take one of these goals and add it to our player board. And only when everybody has taken one or chosen not to take one, that's when we replenish them. So Stevie, you are the first player. What would you like to do?
Well, the easiest one here, to explain them for the viewers, someone will need to spend an herbs. Yes, I say herbs. I know I'm in the UK, but that's just a thing. This is to have presence in 2 different hills.
Yeah.
This is to have 2 insight cards in play. This is to spend 3 food, which could be dangerous because you need to feed your tribes at the end. And this is to have presence in 2 swamps.
Yes. So if you see a number in red with a minus, that means you actually have to spend it to complete the goal. Otherwise, you just need to have it.
I'm not sure I'm doing any of these successfully.
These are not great goals to start
but
with.
the cheapest one, I think, is the herb goal.
Okay, Chris, which one would you like?
Can I have the 2 people in different swamps,
Okay.
please? Thank you.
And based on the layout of the map, based on what's going on there,
Should we show the people the map?
in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to struggle to do these, so I'm actually going to take this one.
3 food.
3 food. Now, we now replenish those with new goals. Yes. So I'm now going to show you my player board, or part of my player board. And we're going to zoom in this part of the player board. So you can see here, this is where the goals go, and you will see that there are 3 slots. So when you take a new goal, you will put it onto one of the slots. If you already have 3 goals, you can take another one if you want to. And what you would do is you would actually put it on top of an existing goal. Now you can only complete the goal that is on top of a stack, and there is a benefit for when you empty the stack. And this is why when you've got 3 goals, you might not want to take another one. Because, yeah, when the stack empties, you're going to get a bonus. So there you go. We all had 1 goal to start with. We've now all got a second goal. That is step 2 done. Phase 2 is now done. Phase 3, this is called an extra find. Before we explain the extra find, let's talk about the 18 different materials that are in the game. So this is the map. The map is divided into a number of different territories. Territories are defined by their terrain type. So we have a water territory, we have a mountain territory, we have swamp, we have grassland, we have desert, we have forest, and we have hills. Now, a quick note about the map. This is really important. This forest here is a separate territory to this forest. So basically, if there is a line, which means it's a separate piece, and this was a random setup, well, it's a sort of random setup. We've used a suggested method for your first game, but these are modular pieces that you can rearrange and shuffle and put in all sorts of different combinations. Each of the territories has a material tile in it, which is face down and is coded to the type of terrain. The ones for the starting terrains, this forest and this grassland, these are face up. And in the starting game, this is wood and this is papyrus. Once you've played the game a couple of times, you might just want to put a different random one here and a different random one here, and that will change the game. The other materials, we don't know where they are, but if we look back at my player board, in fact, hang on a minute, I think I've got a better... Yes, these are the 18 materials in the game, and you can see that they are divided by the terrain type. So, in the forest, the 3 tiles for the forest are wood, wax, and oil. For the mountains, the 3 tiles are stone, iron ore, and jade. So if you need jade, or, for example, Stevie needs herbs. So he's not going to find those herbs in the mountains. He's not going to find them in the swamp. He's going to find them in the grassland. And if we look back at the map, this grassland already has papyrus. Therefore, we know that the herbs are either here or here. So that's the correlation between the materials on the board, which are raw materials, and when you transport them back here, that's when they become your refined materials and you can actually use them. So now back to extra find. What does extra find do? Well, each player may choose one territory where they have a tribe and can actually gain any of the materials which belong to that type of terrain. So even though this forest is full of wood and there is no wax and there is no oil in this forest as such, because we are all in this forest, we could do this extra find and we could have any of the materials which are in the forest. If that makes sense, I hope it does. If it doesn't, please let me know. But essentially, we each have the same choice. We are both in forest and we are in both, we're in both forest and we're in grassland, which means we can have wood, wax or oil, or papyrus, herbs or gold. So, oh look, you could have some herbs right now if you wanted to.
I think I do.
There you go. Chris, which territory are you choosing and what are you going to have?
I'm going to choose from the grassland and take papyrus, I think.
Okay. I'm also going to choose the grassland, but I'm going to take gold because it's shiny.
Reasons.
Yeah, reasons. In fact, let's just have a look at my cards. Yes, I'm taking gold because of that. Okay. Right, that's it. That's the extra find. So now we go into the main part of the game, which is the action phase. So we start off here. And what's going to happen is we are each going to take a turn. So Stevie will go first, then Chris, then me, then Stevie, then Chris, then me. And we're going to keep taking turns over and over again. But one of the things that you can do on your turn is you can reset. When you reset, this marker moves to here. And then the next player resets and it moves to here and here and here. Now, in a 2-player game, these would be covered over and it would then move to here and that would trigger the end of the action phase. In a 3-player game, we go all the way around to here and then we trigger the end of the action phase. So what happens is when we get to here, we finish that round of play, which will be with me, and then we all get one more turn, and then the action phase is over, and then we go into the site phase, the feeding phase, the event phase, and the income phase. And we'll explain all of those when we do them, but the majority of the game is going to take place in the action phase, and it's Stevie's turn first. So yes. On your turn, you have 2 choices. See, it's a really simple game. 2 choices. One of those choices is to reset, but we're not going to be doing that just yet. The other choice you have is to activate one of your modules on your console. So let me see if I press the right button on here. I think it's that one. Yes. Okay, now if you don't mind games that have lots and lots of options, then this is the game for you, because these are all of the modules that you have on your playboard. In fact, these as well. And you can do one of these things on your turn. Now, don't worry, we're not going to explain every single one of these before we start playing. But you have, how many is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus 6. 22. So there's 22 different things that you can do on your turn, or you could reset. Now, you'll notice each of us has 6 dice. We all start with these 6 action dice, which are numbered 1 to 6, and they're placed on these spaces. To activate one of the modules, you must use the 2 dice which are indicated on the module. Now, this is a Steffenfeld design, and if you've played Castles of Burgundy, you'll be very familiar with this mechanism, but it's 2 dice instead of 1. So, for example, if I wanted to perform the trade action, I would need to use a 4 and a 5. And I would do that by taking my 5, put it there, taking my 4, put it there. I would then resolve this action, and then after I've resolved the action, I then spend those dice and I move them over here. And that would be my turn done. Now, what happens if you don't have the dice that you want? Well, this is where your ideas come in. So every player starts the game with 2 ideas, and an idea can be used to adjust the value of one of your dice up or down by 1. You can wrap round from a 6 to a 1 and vice versa, and you can spend multiple ideas if you wanted to. But once your ideas are gone, you've got to then do something to get your ideas back. But what happens if you really needed a 5 and you don't have any ideas? Well, that's where these focus markers come in handy, because a focus marker can be used as if it was a die of any number. So I could literally just say, oh, this is a 5. I could put it on there, put a 2 on there, and if I wanted to, I could procreate. So that is roughly how the actions work. The modules down at the bottom, these are where you gain new features. So this represents your civilization. And you might be wondering why I've already got some markers in here. It's because each of us at the start of the game started with a card. I'm just trying to find my particular card. Nope, can't find my particular card. But this is an example of a starting card. It tells you what resources you start with, tells you what features you start with, and then it's got 1 food, 2 money, 1 focus, and 2 ideas. So my starting card that I took told me that my species has got lots of stamina. Well, lots. It's got a bit of stamina, and it's also good at talking to people. So that's who I am at the moment. That's what my species is. I can evolve. I can gain new features as the game goes on. And to activate one of these modules, you need to use 2 dice of the same number. That's enough explanation, I think, to start with.
For now, I'll just comment that your species starting with some stamina and some expressiveness is exactly what you would need for a 4-hour rules instruction.
Yes.
My first action is going to be to do a planning action.
Okay.
Using a 3 and a 4.
Okay. So
It gives me 2 options.
Yep.
I can either complete one of my goals. I could, if I wanted, spend my
Yeah.
herbs to complete my herbs goal,
Yeah,
but that's not what I'm going to do yet.
Bit. There you go.
The other thing it lets me do is take 2 of my markers and place them on the number panels where my dice are, and then I can use these as those dice in the future.
Yes.
So I want another 1.
They've got to be both on the same space.
Oh,
Yeah.
now I'm learning things. That's fine. I want 2 of them on the 1.
Okay.
So these 2 are done.
Right, that's his action done. But let's explain a little bit more detail about that action. So first of all, it's this one, isn't it? Yes. So the planning action, what Stevie has just done, is, as he said, is a big or in the middle. You can either complete a goal or take 2 planning markers. Now let's talk about completing a goal. You know, this goal that I took here, this is one of the things that catches people out in the game. They think that they can just complete this goal whenever they want to. No, no, no. You can only complete a goal if you are resolving this particular icon, which is to complete 1 goal. You can't just do it whenever you want to. You have to be doing that. And we'll talk about completing goals later on. The other option is this, which was to place 2 planning markers on a space of your choice. So you would take 2 of your markers, you would put them on a space of your choice, and those markers are a little bit like focus markers, but they can only be used. They are 4s. They are essentially the same as dice with a value of 4, and you can modify them with ideas if you want to. So that's what the planning action does. Now, you may notice that these are tiles which can be removed. That's because each of these modules over the course of the game can be upgraded from level 1 to level 2, and then from level 2 to level 3. And my card that I had to start with showed me that my activity module has already been upgraded to level 2. So yes, does this game have a civilization feel where you're advancing your civilization and you're improving the actions that you can do? Absolutely. But that's it. That's your turn. And although we're going to be explaining each of the actions as we do them, once you know this game, the turns are actually really quick. Stevie said, I'm going to plan. I'm going to use a 3 and a 4. I'm going to put 2 markers on there. Done. That's it. your turns are actually pretty quick during the game. Chris.
Okay, I'm going to use a 2 and a 5 to procreate.
Okay, so procreate. I don't know if anybody knows how procreation works, but in this game, what you do is you look at the map, you choose any territory where you already have a tribe, and you get another tribe. That's essentially how it works. So at the moment, Chris, you can only procreate in the forest or the grassland.
Yep. I'm going to procreate in the grassland.
Okay, now you'll notice, and what I'm going to do just for the minute is I'm going to take off these. These spaces are encampment spaces, and the reason why we've covered this one up is because that space is only used in a 4-player game. So there are 4 encampments. Now at the start of the game, we each started with a tribe in an encampment, and when you procreate, you've got to go onto an encampment. And thankfully, that encampment has got 1 success point. So Chris already gains 1 point just for going on there.
And that's the game. Thank you very much.
Yay!
Chris wins.
Chris wins with 1 point. If there isn't an encampment space free, then you can still procreate. But what happens is you actually kick somebody else out of their encampment and you take their place. Now, you can kick yourself out as well. And what happens with that is that the other tribe that is displaced would end up in the wilderness, which means they require more food to feed them. But the tribe that comes into play is actually weakened. Now, weakened tribes are not as good as strong tribes, but you are allowed to do that. So whenever you are placing a tribe onto an encampment, you can either place it on an empty one, or you can kick somebody out. They become weak, but the other person is kicked out. You didn't need to do that, so it's just there. And you've got an extra tribe. Now that's going to be good because you've got more opportunities to explore. Tribes are going to score more points at the end of the game, but you're going to need more food to feed them.
Yep.
Your action is done.
Yes.
I have no idea what I was doing because I'm busy teaching the rules of the game. Let's. I know I need to be doing some exploring, and if I explore from here, I actually find 2 sites. So I'm tempted to do that. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to choose the exploration action, which requires a 1 and a 4. So I'm going to put the 4 on there. I'm going to put the 1 on here, and I have 2 choices with this. I can either discover the sites, or I can make a lucky find, which is similar to an extra find, but not quite the same. So I'm actually going to choose to do this. And with this, what you do is you choose a territory on the board where you have a tribe. I'm going to choose this one. And I get to explore all of the sites. So these are completely randomized at the start of the game, all of these sites. I get to explore every site which is adjacent to this territory. So that's this one and this one. Okay, let's zoom in on this part of the board just to see this happening. Here we go. So I'm going to explore both this one and this one. And what you do is you just flip them over. Now you'll notice each one of them has a number of points printed on it. So that's 2 points and that's 4 points. So I immediately get 6 points. Thank you very much. But we need to explain what those sites do. So what we have is we have a mushroom valley. So the mushroom valley is any time somebody goes and does the hunting, anytime anybody goes hunting in a territory adjacent to the mushroom valley, they are going to gain 1 additional food. The volcano means that no farms can be built in territories adjacent to the volcano. And in fact, if there was already a farm that had been built next to the volcano, that farm would be immediately destroyed at the point this is revealed. So no farms can now be built here, or here, or here. But I got 6 points for doing that exploration. And that is my turn done.
Right.
Back to you.
I'm going to use those 2 ones that I just generated to gain a feature.
Okay.
And the feature related to the number 1 is stamina.
Yeah.
So now I have 2 tokens in the stamina, and the leftover
Yep. So
marker goes away.
again, very simple action. He's just used 2 ones and put a marker in here. So you've now got 2 stamina. That's it. Action done. Chris.
I am going to play a card, I think. So I'm
Ooh.
going to use the insight action, the 3 and a 6,
To play a card.
to play an insight card.
Okay.
So,
You do it,
Do you want
and then
to-
I'll explain it.
okay, yep. So I'm gonna need a vision, which I have, and then it gets me whenever I do an invent, I get a step up the technology track and
Yeah.
3 VPs.
Yeah. You want to just pass me the card and
Yeah.
I'll show it on my screen?
Sure.
So playing cards is a huge part of the game. And there are different cards. This is the card which Chris wants to play, which is physics. It's an insight card. And you'll notice on here that there are 5 vertical bars. This is the cost. But the cost depends on which stage you want to play the card in. So anything that is played into these 4 slots is stage 1. Anything that's played here is stage 2. Here is stage 3. This is stage 4. And then this is stage 5. Because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing cards, tucking them in. So the first card played there would be stage 1. But now if you play another card, that would be stage 2. And then another card would be stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, etc., etc. So it essentially gets harder to play the card the further you go up. Now, you do not have to have completed stage 1 before you start stage 2. So for example, you could play the card here straight away if you wanted to, and that would be a stage 2 card. You could even play the card here if you wanted to, and that would be a stage 3 card. Now, one of the reasons why you're playing cards is points at the end of the game. Every single card which is in stage 1 is worth 2 points. Everything in stage 2 is worth 3 points. Anything in stage 3 is 4 points. And if you do get up higher, these are currently not worth any points. But if you do manage to flip over these scoring tiles, which we'll explain later, anything here is worth 7 points and anything here is worth 10 points. But the cost is higher. So Chris is playing this in stage 1, which means he only needs to have this. And it's not a cost because the number's white, not red. So he only needs to have 1 vision. If he wanted to play it in stage 2, he would need 1 vision and he'd also need 1 intelligence, which you have. So Chris has 1 vision and 1 intelligence. He could have played it in stage 2. He could have even played it in stage 3 because there is no additional cost. So even if you play it in stage 2, 3, 4 or 5, the cost is, you just have to have those. Now, once you have chosen which stage you want to place it in, you then tuck it. So if he plays it in stage 1, it goes there. If there was anything on the bottom part of the card, that would be an immediate effect, which would resolve straight away. And if there's anything on the top of the card, that is a permanent effect for the rest of the game. So Chris has basically come up with the idea of physics, which means from now on, for the rest of the game, anytime he installs an invention card, he's going to move up on the technology track and get 3 points. And where you were tucking it in stage 1?
I think so, yeah.
There are benefits to completing stage 1.
Stage, yeah.
And I always like to try and complete stage 1 first, but
Yeah.
you don't need to. Multiple ways to play. And you did that with a 6 and a 3.
I
So
did. Yeah.
let me show you the right hand side of the player board. These actions here all require a die of value 6, and each one has 2 different uses, and the right hand use is to play a card. So this is to play the purple cards, this is to play the blue cards, this is to play the orange cards, which is what Chris just did. This is for the mutation cards, and this is for the invention cards. There is another thing as well, but this, at the moment, that's how you play cards in the game. Back to me, my go. Well, I was thinking I was going to possibly play a card as well, but let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so what's our goal? Our goal is to have that at the end of Era 1. And it's for the one with the most gold, jade, and copper. Now, I've got some gold. We don't know where the other stuff is. It could be anywhere, but we know that jade is found in the mountains and copper is... Oh, I've got a copper. Ooh, because I started with a copper. So I'm
for that one.
I'm doing all right for that one, aren't I? If I was to try and find some more jade, there could be some jade in those mountains. But I took the gold that required 3 food. It's good to go hunting in the forest, and there's a mushroom valley there. So I think the voices in my head are telling me
Go hunt for mushrooms.
that I should probably go hunting. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's do that. Let's try not to think too much about it. I am going to choose the sustenance action, which requires a 4 and a 2. Well, I've got the 2. I don't have the 4. So I'm going to use one of my ideas. Now, do I turn the 3 into the 4 or the 5 into the... Let's turn the I'm going to turn the 3 into a 4, and I'm going to choose the sustenance action. So the sustenance action has 2 different options. One of them is to go hunting, and the other one is that you can stand up one of your weak tribes. We talked about weak tribes earlier on. I'm not going to do that. I am going to go hunting. So when you go hunting, you choose a territory on the board where you have a tribe. Doesn't matter if that tribe is strong or weak, as long as you've got a tribe in there. And then you're going to roll all of your fate die. Everybody starts with one of these, but you can get more during the game. And we're going to see how much food we're going to get. Now, if we look at the hunting table, which is here, you will see that it is better to hunt in the water, then the forest, then the grassland, then the hills, then the swamp, then the mountains, then the desert. So I'm going to go hunting in the forest because that is better for me. So what you do is you take one of these hunting tokens, put it in the forest. That means nobody else can hunt in this forest this era. I have done all of the hunting. All of the rabbits and squirrels are mine. And I'm going to roll the d6. Now, if I had more than one fate die, I would roll all of them and I'd choose which result I wanted. I've only got one, and we've rolled a 4. 4's good. So we look up 4 on the forest, and a 4 says that I get 3 food plus the extra 1 for the Mushroom Valley. 4 food.
Reloaded.
Makes me very happy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is my action done. I just went hunting.
All right. I am going to use a 5 and a 6 to perform the achievement action. I'm going to choose the option that lets me claim an additional die.
Okay, so yes, the top right action is achievement, which is either to play a purple card or to take a new die. There are 4 of each type of dice in a 3-player game, and you simply take one from there. Now, you've taken a white one. So a white one is an action die. As soon as you gain a new action die, you roll it, and you immediately put it on the space.
There we are.
If the dice ever run out, you can still take a new one, but what you actually do is you take it from another player. You take it from the player who's got the most. Okay. Yeah, a couple of people are mentioning that it is a little dark. I mean, if it is, I can increase the brightness a bit, but I thought it looked okay. Let me just adjust it slightly, because a couple of people have now mentioned that it does look a little dark. So let's up the brightness a little bit. How does that look? That better? There you go. That looks a bit too bright for me, but let me know what you think in the chat. If you think that's too bright, let me know. Chris, you're
Okay.
going.
Well, seeing as I've got a 1 and a 4 left, it seems like a perfect time to do an exploration.
You wanted to use a 1 and a 4?
They need.
Okay.
So,
Where are you exploring?
well, you've
Here?
explored there, so I guess it's going to be here.
Yeah. So you see these 2 things?
Oh, yes, that's in there. Yeah.
So you found a building ground and a glacier. Right, let's have a look at that. So what have we found? We found building ground and glacier. Right, so you gain an immediate 5 points for finding those 2 things. Let's explain the glacier first. So the glacier is going to have an effect on the game in the sight phase. This is going to happen later on in the game, and anybody who has a strong tribe adjacent to the glacier is going to have to lay one of those tribes down. They become weak. That's going to happen in the sight phase. The building ground, there are more of these than anything else in the game. There's in fact the 7 building grounds in the game. One of them is pre-printed here, and the other 6 can be found over the course of the game. The building ground is where you can build settlements and statues, which are 2 of the things that you can build in the game. And the cost to build a statue here is either 1 gold or 1 copper. Slightly different depending on the building ground. So there's no impact on the game itself, but it is a space where you can now build settlements and statues. And that is your go done.
Yep.
So my go, I've got a 5 and a 6 left. And I don't want to reset. I am going to use the 5 and the 6. Now, do I want to play a purple card? No. So I am going to take a dice, and I'm actually going to take another fate die.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go done.
All right, I still have a couple of actions to do. I want to do the 6-2 action.
Which you could do.
Which I will do by spending an idea to turn this 1 to a 6.
Yep.
And applying them.
Okay, so you're doing the mutation action. Are you playing a green card?
I'm going to play a green card.
Okay, so what is it you're playing?
I'm playing Maine. So my people have grown a Maine.
Nice.
It says, from now on, whenever I advance my disc on the green track and end on a dark digit space, I'll move to the next light digit space. So I'll get an extra step sometimes.
And you have to have 2 stamina.
2 stamina.
To play it in stage 1.
And into stage 2, I would also need composure, but I don't have that. So
you're going to play in stage 1.
Into stage
so again, no immediate effect, but you now have a permanent thing for the rest of the game.
Let's see if I can manage to get that to trigger.
We've had a super chat come in. Thank you very much for the super chat. All of the advertising revenue from this video and any super chats all go to charity. So yeah, it's something that I do on the channel. I don't get any money from my advertising revenue, and that's where the super chat goes as well. If you want to support me directly and help me continue to make videos, patreon.com/gaming rules. That's the best place to support me directly. I get that money, but the super chats and the advertising revenue all goes to charity. Thank you very much. Chris.
Okay, well, I've got no dice left. So
Chris has got no dice.
See reset.
We are going to see a reset. So for those of you that are wondering why we haven't been moving this marker yet, it only moves when somebody does a reset. Now, you can do a reset on your turn as long as you have no more than 3 dice. So we all could have done a reset earlier, but we chose not to. Chris has to do a reset because he doesn't have any dice whatsoever. So let's go through what happens when you reset by showing you my player board. These are your reset markers. And what you do is the first time you reset, you move this down to this position here. And this icon means that you're going to progress the yellow phase indicator on the board. Then you move it down to here. And this icon means that you re-roll all of your dice. Now, if you had any dice remaining on your board at this point, you could move them off your board and roll them as well. But you don't have to. If you have any dice on your board, well, no more than 3, you could keep them there, or you could move some of them off. Chris will do that in a minute. And then the final thing that you do is you move this marker down to the bottom, and then that marker becomes either an idea or 1 food. And that is the reset process. And my top tip for you when you're playing this game is make sure you actually do this. It might seem a bit silly, but every single time I've played it, if people don't do this, they forget something. So again, move it down to here, advance the phase marker. Move it to here, roll your dice. Move it to here, gain an idea or a food. So, Chris.
Okay.
We move the marker along. We've done that.
So I'll move that down
Yep.
to my B point.
You're going to roll your dice.
Roll my dice.
You roll your dice and then you put them on the appropriate spaces.
So it's 2 3s, 2 1s, a 2 and a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And
move
then
down to the bottom,
move
and
down
then
to the
that
bottom.
marker becomes an
It's
idea
going to
or
become a food.
Yeah. And what happens is once you actually know how to play the game, as soon as one player says, I'm doing a reset, the next player can start their turn because, you know, there's no effect. And in fact, that's what I'm going to do. I am going to do a reset. So I'm moving that down to there. That moves to there. I move that. I roll all of my dice.
You'll be shocked to hear that I'm also doing it.
Okay. And if you thought the game was going to take forever to play, we're almost halfway through the first era already.
And just like last night when I thought I had a bit of thinking time about what I
Nope,
wanted to
no
do
thinking
next,
time for you.
background to me again.
Background to you.
So
Now, what's interesting is Stevie bought an extra action dice. So he's got 7 action dice compared to our 6. That means that he might be resetting less often, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get to do any more actions. He won't get to do any more actions. He will get to do exactly this. He'll have the same number of turns as the rest of us. You'll just have more flexibility with your dice.
Fewer resets per era, hopefully.
Yes.
Yes.
okay, right. I am going to use a 1 and a 3 to do a migrate action.
Okay, migrate, as you might suspect, is the action that you take if you want to move your tribes on the board to a new place.
Yeah.
Before we explain migrate, I just want to mention about the fact that the tribes can either be strong, which means they're standing up, or they can be weak if they're lying down. The only difference that a strong tribe has to a weak tribe is that only strong tribes can migrate. Everything else that you can do with tribes in the game can be done with a weak tribe. So gathering resources, procreating, exploring, all of that stuff can all be done with weak tribes. The only thing you cannot do with a weak tribe is migrate. So both of your tribes are strong. You've got 1 migrate, which basically means you move one of your tribes to an adjacent territory, and you place it onto one of the encampment spaces. So, where do you want to go?
Well, I wanted to move out of the grassland anyway, because I've got swamp goals, and now that glacier has encouraged me to do it even more. So I'm going to move this guy from that encampment to this one in the swamp there.
Okay, so you immediately
So that'll
get
be
2 points. Now, whenever you end your movement in a territory where there is a material token face down, you get to develop that territory. So we flip it face up and we have found coal. So that's where the coal is in this game. And as a finding bonus, Chris has found some coal lying around. At which point he puts a marker in that territory. Not on his playbook. Very common mistake is that people say, oh, I found coal, and they take a marker and they put it in here. No, what you've done is you've found coal in here. Although this is Chris's coal, he can't do anything with it. He's got to do an action or something that transports that back. I'll tell you what, I forgot to do that. After explaining, don't forget to do that, I forgot to do that.
Prophecy came true.
He did. It did. So you've done. You've migrated. You've gone there. Right. It's my go. What am I going to do? Well, I've not played any cards yet, and I kind of want to play some of these cards, but I don't have a 5. I don't want to spend an idea. I don't want to do that just yet. I need that. I also want to do that. There's so many things to do, isn't there?
Don't worry, you still have half the arrow.
Yeah. Maybe. Right. Okay. So, do we want to build? I think we do. Oh, but then... no, we'll do that next time. I could migrate. I might run away from this glacier. Like you just did.
Yeah.
Because that glacier is... Yeah. Okay, now we still want to find... We don't know where the copper is. The copper could be there. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to use... Or if I do a goal. We can do a goal. Yes. Should we do a goal? That gets me to flip one of my markers over. Oh, that would be good. Okay, right, we're going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to choose the planning action, which is the same one that Stevie did earlier on, but I am going to choose the left-hand option of the planning action, which is to complete a goal. So what I do is I choose one of my goals that I can complete, and I can complete this one, which requires me to spend 3 food. So I spend 3 food. And what you do with the goal is you flip it over, and this is installed in here. Now, the one thing we didn't mention about cards, and this is really important, is that once you have played a card into a column, for example, I've put that there, that locks that column to that colour of card. This is a goal. This is its own type. This is its own colour. So you cannot put goals in the same column as other cards. And once you have started a column of goals, I'm going to put it there, for example, that means that this column is allocated to goals for the whole game. I can't put any other type of thing in this column, except for income chips that we'll talk about soon. Now, we also mentioned earlier on that there is a bonus whenever you empty a stack of goals, and that's what I've done. I've emptied this stack of goals, so I get to upgrade any one of my modules, and I can upgrade it. So I might have a think about this while Stevie takes his turn.
All right, I'm going to play a card. I'm going to use a 6 and a 4 to play a building card. My building card is the garden. As we discussed before, I have to pay costs based on where I install it. I'll install it in the first stage 1. That means I have to pay an herb, which I'm over pronouncing for effect. There's a funny little icon here, and this is one of the ones you don't often see this icon in games or anywhere in the world really, but this is an alternate cost. If I had 3 settlements already in play, then I wouldn't need to pay the herb.
Yeah.
But since I don't have 3 settlements in play, I'm happy to pay the herb.
Okay.
And it has an immediate effect, which is to go up twice on the prestige track.
Which doesn't land you on a dark space.
It should.
No?
On a dark digit
Oh,
space.
on a dark digit space, not
Yes.
a dark back. Ah,
Yeah,
right,
I
okay.
got confused about that.
So
yesterday
it's landed
as
on
well.
dark digit space.
And
which
now my
means because
main
of your
kicks in and I go up an extra space.
Yes.
Then this will get tucked down here because
Okay.
that's what I've spent on
So
it.
this is your column for green cards,
Mhm.
and now this is your column for blue cards.
Additionally, the garden says at the end of the game, I'll get 2 points for every item that is in this column.
Yeah.
So I want to build up a lot of blue cards if I can.
Mhm.
And going to the main board here.
Yeah, so let's have a look at this board, because what's happened is this board, you see these white lines here. Whenever you move a marker across a white line, you get the bonus that's printed here. So Stevie has just crossed this line, which means he gets to upgrade one of his modules, which is very similar to what I just did, but it has to be a module that contains the number 2. So you are restricted on which module you want to increase. So you can increase any of those ones.
I'm going to increase the procreation module.
Peter is asking, do they slot side by side because they are smaller? Yes, absolutely. So
Exactly
you,
right.
you have 2 goals next to each other. Now, you don't need to. You can actually stack them up if you want to. And the reason for doing that is the higher they go, the more points they're worth. But if you want to complete a stage, you're going to need 2 goals next to each other in order to fill the entire stage.
All right. I have played my card. That is
Okay.
all I need to do.
Okay. I'm going to be really slightly repetitive because actually my dice have worked quite well from my reset.
You're going to migrate
and I'm going to
again?
migrate again
Where are you
away
going to
from the
now?
glacier into the other swamp.
The other swamp. So
Yes,
here,
and I'll go into the
another
2
2
points again
points.
because I'm out as well.
and you found it's tar.
Ah,
So you get some tar
Okay.
in here. There you go.
there we go.
All the resources. Well, these dice are a bit rubbish. I didn't
I don't
really,
like you either.
yeah, I didn't really want to be using a focus at this stage in the game, but yeah, oh, it's not good. It's not good. I'm not happy. What do I need to play this card? Right, okay, that's what we're going to do. We are going to use a 6 and a focus as a 4. That's my focus gone. And I'm going to build. Now, my original plan was to build a boat here, but since there's a glacier here, I'm thinking I don't want to do that now. So I'm thinking that I'm going to build a hall. So we're going to play a building card, and the cost of doing this is 1 peat. Peat is not one of the things that we need for the end. Right, that's good. I'm going to spend the peat. And the immediate benefit is that I move 3 spaces up the construction track, which is going to be good for end of game scoring. I've crossed a line, which means I can upgrade one of my blue action tiles, and then I'm just going to slot that in there. And if you want to take your turn while I upgrade one of my blue action tiles.
I'm going to get greedy and use a 5 and a 6 to take yet another action die. It's a 1. That's my turn.
Okay.
Okay.
I have 2 2s. Yes, I do have 2 2s.
He's a ballerina.
I don't. Does that matter? Oh, there's the sleep module. Yeah, there is the sleep module, but no, I didn't want to do that. We'll talk about the sleep module in a minute.
Just like real life, you really don't want to
No,
sleep.
you don't want to sleep. No.
Go on, Chris.
Okay, right. So I want to do the transport action, but I don't have a 1, so I'm going to use an idea to turn my 2 into a 1.
Yeah.
And use this 1 and this 5.
Okay, so the transport action is the action which you use to bring the raw materials back from the board and place them onto your console. Now, important rule about the transport action. You do not need to have a tribe in the territory where you transport back from. Now, Chris does have that. Oh, no, you don't. You don't have a tribe here, because what happens is a man in a van goes out, drives along, picks up the papyrus, throws it in the back of the van, and drives here. I might have made that bit up. But basically, you don't need to have a tribe in a territory in order to transport that resource back. And the basic transport action is 3. So you
3,
can bring back
it is.
any 3 things from the board into your console.
So I'm going to take...
Moritz says I didn't spend any dice. No, I did. I spent my focus marker. So to do my action, I used a 6 and I used a focus marker. That was for me. Did you spend dice to do your action?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
65.
And you spend dice. So I think we're okay.
Okay, so I'm going to take this one back from the forest as a wood.
Yep.
And I just knocked
You've knocked me over.
you over. Sorry, you're not. And
So
I'm
do you
gonna
want some
take
tar?
this one as a tar, I think. And I've got papyrus already, so I think we'll take this
coal?
as a coal.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
You're done.
Yes, that's me done.
So I might reset. So I have 3 dice on my board. I am allowed to reset. If I don't reset, I'm sort of limited with the actions that I want to do. Now I could sleep, so let's talk about the sleep action. The sleep action requires any 2 dice. You can put any 2 dice you want to, and you get 1 focus, or you get 2 ideas. It's a little bit like the action in Castles of Burgundy, where you spend 1 die to get 2 workers. It's something you want to try and avoid doing if you can, but I find that I normally do this once or twice in a game. I don't know, you 2 played last night?
I had to do it a few times,
times.
yesterday, yeah.
Okay.
My dice have been a lot kinder so far to me this
Yeah.
game than they were yesterday.
But I think I'm going to reset. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this marker down, which means we move that along. Then I'm going to re-roll my dice. Now, before I re-roll my dice, I am going to choose that I don't want that one. And I also don't want that one. But I'm going to keep that one because I like 6s. Right, then I'm going to re-roll my dice. Oh boy.
Do you like 4s and 5s?
I like 4s and 5s. Almost as much as I like 6s. Is that okay? That is not okay. And then I'm going to take this and have that as an idea, and it's your go.
I'm using an idea to turn a 1 into a 6, and I keep hitting this achievement one, but this time I'm going to play a purple card.
Okay.
Purple card is going to be the Tannery.
Okay, so you're playing it into stage 1.
I lied. I'm not playing this card. I can't
Okay,
do all of
not
its things.
Okay.
Oops.
Rewind.
So this was a 1 before.
Did I advance on the track?
yes, you did.
What, when I played the hull? Yeah, I moved
Yeah.
up on the track.
I mean, the action one as well.
And when I rested, I moved on there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
I think we're good.
All right, we're going to do the different thing instead, which is to migrate. So I'm going to use that idea to turn this 2 into a 3, and then the 3 and the 1 together become the migration action. And unsurprisingly, we're going to abandon the glacier.
Run away!
So this little fella is going to run over here.
That was the glacier there.
Oh, that's the wrong way. So
If that's what you were trying to do.
do I care as much then? Yeah, let's move up into the... Oh, but the glacier's going to stop a farm there as well. But I might get the thing that I want.
The glacier doesn't
Glacier
stop the
won't
farm,
stop the
it
farm.
just makes you...
Make somebody...
Make
oh, it's a
you-
volcano. I'm
Yeah,
mixing the
it's
two up in my
sorry.
head.
Glaciers, volcanoes.
Yes, it is the volcano that I
cold.
wanted or want to
Yeah.
run. So I'll get... that's not even me. This one is me today. So I'm going to get 2 points from running over here, and then we're going to find out what kind of resources there, and it's cotton.
Cotton. You found cotton.
Not sure I wanted cotton.
Goes on
but
there.
that's what- oh, yes.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, we've all corrected each other, and it's great. But that's it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do a reset because I've got no dice.
You've got no dice again.
So we move
We
the
move
marker
this along.
along.
Wow.
I re-roll all of my dice. Okay.
And you get a food
And I've
or an
got
idea.
lots of low numbers.
And while Chris finishes reset, just want to mention something that although a lot of people think this is a Steffenfeld game, and this is a Steffenfeld game, he's not the only person whose name is on the box. So I want to give a shout out to Victor Kabilgi, who is a fantastic games developer, and every game that I've played where he's been involved in the game, I can see his touch on the game, and his name is on the box as well. So yeah, congratulations to both Stefan and Victor for creating this game. Right, I have a plan. And it's going to work. It's actually going to work. I've got the dice I need. I'm going to play it. Hang on. No, I don't. Not yet. Not yet. I'm going to use double 5. I'm going to become more expressive.
Excellent.
I've learned to shout.
Mhm.
There you go. That's it. That's my action done.
I have a 5 and 1 left,
So just
which
wait till next turn.
matches up to the transport action,
Which is what you want to do.
which is what I want to do.
Nice.
So I have 3 resources on the board.
Yep.
I have a cotton, I have a wood, and I have a papyrus. So I'll bring them home.
Bring them home.
Put them in the cupboard for safekeeping.
Yeah. So the reason why BGG just lists Stefan as the designer is Victor is technically the developer of the game rather than the designer. But yeah, that's why Stefan is listed as the designer on Board Game Geek. But Victor has got his name on the front cover of the box. Well deserved.
Sorry, once again.
That's all right.
It was like I
It's
thought
got
I had
round
an
to you
extra- Yeah,
quickly.
exactly. It does come around quick sometimes. So I am going to. I think what I might do, because reasons for later, I'm going to do a research action.
Okay, so the research action basically is how you get new cards. So if you were wondering how you pick cards up, that's what this does. So you can either take one card face up or from a face down stack, or you could take 2 cards from the face down stack,
Yeah.
choose one and put one to the bottom.
You can even take the 2 cards from different stacks.
Yes, yes. So which one do you want? Do you want any of those
I
face up
think
cards?
I've got coal and I've got iron ore actually, so I think I might just take the magnetic compass.
And whenever a stack is empty, you automatically flip over the next one. Moritz says Stefan is actually in the game. Where is Stefan in the game?
Where's Waldo in one of the
Yeah, let me know where he is. Any chance of a solo playthrough? Possibly. If I can fit it in. It might end up being after Essen, because I don't think I've got a free day at all between now and Essen. But hopefully after Essen, I do want to give the solo mode a try. Right, now I'm doing the thing that I wanted to do. So I'm using a 6 and a 3, and I'm going to play an orange card. And since I now have the ability to shout very loud, politics. So politics at stage 1 only requires 2 expressiveness. If I played it at stage 2, it would also require 2 composure, which I don't have. So I'm going to play it in stage 1, and the ability is that I move 1 up on the technology track, 1 up on the prestige track, and 1 up on the knowledge track. And I can't add it, so I can't play it in stage 2 or 3 because I didn't meet the requirements. So it's got to be stage 1, and I'm going to put it here.
I'm just doing a reset.
So I'll move this on.
Yep.
So the next reset will trigger the end of the action phase for Era 1. And if we weren't explaining the rules, we could probably play this in just over 2 hours.
For sure.
This is not, although it's an epic game and there's a lot going on, it runs very smoothly and very quickly. And yeah, if we weren't streaming it or anything like that, if we just sat downstairs and played it, we'd probably be done in a couple of hours. Okay.
Getting near the end of the era, so I'm going to take that reset token as a food.
Excellent.
Right. I am going to play an invention, so I need a 1 and a 6. I've got a 1. I don't have a 6, so I'm going to use my focus marker as a 6.
Okay. And you're going to play a brown
I'm going
card.
to play a brown card, the magnetic compass.
Stage
I'm
1.
going to play it in stage 1, so it'll cost me an iron ore,
Yep.
which I've got. And immediately I will get to flip migration.
You upgrade your migration
Upgrade
action, and you
and
upgrade
my
your
exploration action as well. Okay.
Do you want to talk about overpaying?
Yeah, maybe later on.
Okay.
Maybe later on. One thing I do want to touch on is the theme of this game actually does come through quite a lot. So Chris has just played a card. You've invented
Yeah.
the magnetic compass. What does a magnetic compass do? It's going to help you explore, and it's going to help you migrate.
Move
Yeah.
around.
So the cards, each card individually does what you think it actually would do. There is a lot of theme in there if you want to sort of see it in the cost and the effects.
Some of it's quite funny.
Yes,
Politics
like-
needing to be expressive,
You
but
need-
not
yeah.
yet having composure.
No, exactly.
Also, because of my physics insight card, and
yes.
I've installed an invention,
You go.
I get to go up 1 on the
technology
technology track, and I
and
get 3
points.
victory points as well.
Combo.
Nice. Yeah, combo.
Okay.
Right. So I've done the 2 things that I was really excited about doing. I didn't really want to have to do another reset, I would love to migrate, but I can't migrate because I've only got 2 4s. So, if I do a reset, that will trigger the end. And because you were the start player, that means we all get 1 more turn. Am I happy about that? I don't know whether I am. So, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to reset.
All right.
So that moves to the end. The end of the action phase is triggered. I am going to roll my dice, but I'm going to keep these 4s because I know that I need these for next time. So I'm just going to roll these. I really would like a 3 and a 1. Come on, dice gods. Yay! Thank you to the dice gods. And I got another 4. And then that marker is going to become a food. Okay, so what happens is we finish that particular round, which has now ended because I was the last player. We now play 1 more turn each, and that is the end of the action phase for this first era. Okay.
Well, I was going to procreate, but now that we're about to go into the feeding phase, I don't think we're going
Change of
to do
plan.
that. Just a little bit, yes. I think what I will do
Am I going to run away from the glacier?
is use a 6 and a 4 to do the building action again, but this time I'm going to build a thing.
Okay, so building. We haven't covered this yet, but the other option from this module here is you can actually build something. Now, let me just go to left-hand side of my player board. There are 4 things that you can build in the game. You can build settlements, you can build farms, you can build boats, or you can build statues. The cost of building a settlement is actually printed on the board, and you can build them in any order you want to. Farms are free, boats are free, and statues you pay the cost depending on the building ground that you're building on. And each of them will have a different effect on the game. Which one are you going to build?
I have enough food to feed my people in the moment, so I'm not going to build a farm, which would give me sustenance. I'm instead going to spend my wood and my papyrus because I believe I can build a settlement over there.
So you can build in a building ground as long as you have a tribe in an adjacent territory to that building ground. So you're going to build a settlement in
Settlement
there.
goes there.
Let's have a look at this building ground then. So this is the building ground where Stevie has just built. And as you can see printed here, each player can have either 1 settlement and a statue or 2 statues per building ground. So in this building ground, this is what it can house for each player in the game. You're not blocking out other people to do that. And as I mentioned here, the cost of building a statue is printed here, whereas the cost of building a settlement is actually shown next to the settlement itself. Now, building a settlement is quite expensive, they're quite hard to build, but the bonus that you get for building a settlement is you get an income chip. Now, we haven't actually touched on income chips yet, but they are really powerful, and these are the 3 income chips which we dealt out at the start of the game. Now, when you take an income chip, you install it into your console, and then you immediately activate it. And the reason why income chips are really powerful is if you see this coloured bar at the bottom, this means that these are wild cards. So, you know, we talked about I can now no longer put any other any other cards other than blue in this column. It's locked to blue, and I can't put anything other than golds here. Well, that's not quite true. Income chips can go anywhere. Because they are a wild card, you can use them in whatever column you want to. And if you start a column with an income chip, then you haven't decided what column that is going to be. So, which of those income chips would you like?
I would like the one that gives me a chance to migrate, and I'll put it in the column that is worth
put it there.
points.
Okay.
And so I'll immediately use it. It says roll fate, and if successful, I can move a guy,
Yeah.
or I could ignore all that whole thing to get 1 victory
Get 1
point.
point.
I would like to see if I can move a guy.
Okay,
though.
so let's talk about fate checks, or favour checks is what they're called. So there is a mechanism within the game where, is it Agera? I think is the AI who's running this computer simulation, and it's all represented by this favour track here. Now, none of us have moved up this favour track yet, but we might do over the course of the game. Whenever you make a favour check, you roll all of your fate dice, so all of your pink dice, and if any of them get this number or lower, then you have succeeded. So Stevie's only got 1 pink dice. He would have needed to roll a 1, and he failed to do that.
Didn't work.
But let's just have a look at that income chip, because as I say, the other option is instead of doing that, he could have just said, I'll take a point instead. All of the income chips have the secondary ability of gain a point, but you must choose to do that before you make the favour check. You can't make the favour check, fail, and then choose to gain the point. You're not allowed to do that.
And the fate dice can be affected by the ideas.
Yes.
So I actually had a 50-50 chance to be able to succeed if I was willing to spend my idea.
Yeah, because if you rolled a 6, you could have spent an idea and it could have become a 1 and you would have succeeded.
Yep.
So, alas.
And a lack.
Okay.
And the income chip gets replaced.
Yes.
So again, we have a big bag of income chips. There is also a step later in the round where we are going to get to resolve all of our income chips. Chris, your last action for Era 1.
Right, I have just realised that I don't have enough food to feed all of my
Fine, they could go hungry.
people. Yeah, they could, but I feel like I
You want to go hunting?
want to, but I'm only in the swamps, so it's
Swamp,
either that
swamp,
or
and all the
they're not very effective hunting.
swamps are not great for hunting.
You've already hunted in the
Yeah,
forest,
all the rabbits are gone.
and I've got a lot of 3s, but only 3 of them that I'm not sure I want. So what I might do is just take a reset. I
Okay,
think.
so if you reset and the marker's already here, you just don't move it again.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep any of those 3s?
Might keep 1.
Okay.
Just in case. So we don't do that bit. I'm going to re-roll all my dice. Probably
Gain
get
food.
a load more 3s.
Yeah.
There's a surprise.
Right, so I'm going to
So
finish the era off. Now, let's just check this. Am I
So
still winning this?
3s.
Oh, yeah.
Then that goes to food.
What's Chris got? He's got none of that.
None of that.
Oh, okay, so I'm winning that.
Mhm.
That's fine. That makes me happy. Do we want to play that in order to get more points? Or do we want to migrate? Because if I migrate away... Okay, so my options are migrate away to avoid the glacier so that I don't end up becoming weak. Or I could just spend these 2 4s to get some dexterity, which actually will get me an extra 5 points. 5 points is 5 points.
That's a goal at the end of this era.
The question is, do I need that dexterity for any of my future cards? I do. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend these 2 4s to gain some dexterity. So I can shout at people for a very long time and also breakdance.
When they throw tomatoes at you.
Yeah, I can dodge out the way like bullets on. Right, that's it. That is the end of the action phase for the first era of the game. So let's go back to the phase sequence. We now go to the site phase. In the site phase, we resolve 3 specific sites. The Gorge of the Grimwolves, the Glaciers, and then the Mystic Oaks. We don't have any Gorge of the Grimwolves yet. We do have the Glaciers, so we look at the map and we see, is anybody adjacent to the glacier? I am. So I have to lay down one of my tribes. That tribe is now weak. If I had tribes all around the glacier, I would just have to lie one of them down. Oh, you're there as well.
Didn't get the chance to run away. My migration didn't work.
Okay. And then the next bit is the Mystic Oak. We haven't got any Mystic Oaks, so that's the end of phase 5. Phase 6, we have to feed our tribes. So each tribe requires one food if they're on an encampment, or 2 food if they're in the wilderness. If you have a farm, it reduces that cost by 1. So we'll do this in player order.
Well, I have 2 people.
You have 2 people. You may choose to feed them or not.
Let's feed them.
If you don't feed them, a strong tribe becomes weak and a weak tribe will die. You fed them both.
Yep.
Chris, you've got 3 tribes,
Yep, and
3
I'm going to
food.
spend 3
You're going to keep
food
them all strong.
to keep them all strong, yes.
I have 2 tribes. I am going to spend the 2 food.
Done.
So even if you feed a weak tribe, they don't become strong. You've got to do something that will make them strong. That's the feeding phase almost done. But now what happens is we get 1 point for each of our strong tribes. So me and you get 1. And Chris gets 3.
Running away with
He
it.
did this last night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next we have the event phase. So the first thing we do is we resolve the weather. The weather said it was going to get colder, which is about right for this time of year. And now what happens is we all get to resolve the effect next to where the weather is. So this here says that we can all do 1 activity Now, we haven't talked about activities yet. There is going to be more things going on in this playthrough. In fact, we'll probably still be explaining some rules at the very end of the playthrough. But activities, it's that icon there. And if we have a look at my player board, everybody has an activity. At the start of the game, printed on the player board, everybody has one activity, which is to spend 1 money and go up on one of the tracks, one of the what they call progress tracks. You will get other activities on other cards over the course of the game, but right now we all have this. And because of the weather being, what is it? It's rainy. We all get to do an activity. Would you like to do an activity?
Yes, I'll spend a money and I will go up on the blue track.
On the construction track, yep. Chris?
I will also spend 1 money and go up on the technology track, please.
And that crosses a line for
So
you,
you
so you
get
can
to
upgrade a brown module.
Any one of your modules that has a number 1 on it.
So I think let's do invention.
And I'm also going to spend the money and I'm going to move up the construction track. So I have crossed the second line. So when I cross the second line, I've got 2 choices. I can either gain a favour, which is that favour track that we saw earlier on, or I can gain the income from one of my income chips. And again, if we look back at my player board, I've actually got this card. So one of your starting cards that you get at the start of the game actually becomes your initial income chip. So I have an income chip, which is to gain a focus. And I am absolutely doing that. So I'm going to choose to gain income, and I'm going to gain, oh, do I want to? No, I'm going to gain the favour.
Yep.
Change my mind. I'm going to gain the favour. Because now, whenever I make a favour check, I need a 1 or a 2. And I've got 2 dice. So it's
2 chances at 1/3 is
2
about
chances. Yeah. Okay, so we've all done the weather. Right, next, it is the event. And the event is admiration.
We're all admiring you now, Paul.
Look at my gold and copper. So I have the most. I basically get 3 on this. 1, 2, 3. So I've crossed both that and that. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am going to upgrade. Let's upgrade my... Let's have a look what's going on here. I'm going to upgrade my sustenance module to level 2, I think. Yeah, let's upgrade that. And I've crossed that line. I'm going to gain some more favour.
Nice.
So basically, I'm writing letters to teacher. You're my favourite AI. I love you.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Right, next. C. We score this. So the scoring criteria for Era 1 is
How many
features. You have 3 features. You get 15 points. Chris,
I've got 2.
you get 10 points. I have 4, so I get 20 points.
Ooh.
So I'm on 27.
Very
And then
sensible,
the
these.
start player, I did mention it was going to change. The start player goes to the player who gained the most points from that. And if it's tied, it basically moves round
Amongst the tied players.
amongst the tied players. So I am now the start player for the next era. Finally, we go to the income phase. Now, in the income phase, 4 things happen. First of all, we resolve all of our income chips. Then we resolve all of our statues. If anybody's built any statues, you get points based on how high you are up on the favour track. Then we're going to remove the hunting tokens from the board, and then we are going to refill our reset markers. So we all get to do our income chips.
Mine-
Stevie, you have 2. You have that one and
mine-
that one.
Yeah, the first one lets me stand up the guy who was weak. Is
Oh,
that
that's
going to
nice.
go? And the other one lets me roll to see if I can get a free migration. And again, I rolled one of the 2 numbers that wouldn't help.
Okay. Chris,
Mine, if I do a fake
Or you could
check,
just get a point.
lets me, but I think I can complete one of these.
if you roll a 1.
I think if I roll a 1
or a 6.
or
or
a
a
6, yeah. I've got a couple of ideas.
Oh,
so
fine. I mean, you
do I
could
wanna
spend
keep
2
the
ideas.
I think maybe is the other thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna
Okay.
leave it.
And I am going to get focus.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is. Right. So we've done that. Statues. Nobody's built any statues. Hunting markers get removed. So that comes off. You didn't go hunting in the end, did you?
No.
Okay. And then we refill our reset markers. And that is it. That is the end of the first era.
One
So
quarter finished.
some people might be switching off now, having seen enough of the game. Thank you very much for watching if you feel that you've now seen enough of the game. We are obviously going to carry on playing until the end. You've not seen all of the actions yet, and as I say, we might even get to the end of this game, and there are certain of these modules that you won't have seen. Don't worry, my how to play video that I will be creating over the next few weeks, I go into a lot of detail about every single module, so that will be the definitive how to play video for the game, where I cover everything in a lot of detail. Today, it's just a playthrough, you might not see everything. Right, Era 2, new cards. So what is the event?
It is going to get colder. We are having a leap in evolution. The civilization with the most total resources of any kind may take up to 3 of those and place them as features.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can take that copper and gold and
That is very
turn into
interesting.
some vision and some composure.
So the weather's going to go to here. It's going to become very cold, which means we're all going to have to spend a food or somebody dies. And then the civilization that has the highest total number of resources here can move up to 3 of them and turn them into features.
That's quite good.
Wow. Okay. Right. New goals. So in player order, starting with me. Now. Oh, there's one for Mushroom Valley.
Mm-hmm.
There's one for having 2 buildings. No, I'm going to take the Mushroom Valley goal.
And this is 2 building cards.
Two building cards played. Yeah. Will the how to play video be out before Essen? Probably not. I'm going to be working hard on it over the next 2 or 3 weeks, but I have a lot of other videos to do in the next 2 or 3 weeks as well. And it's a big job, trust me. It is a very big job. So I cannot promise that it will be out before Essen. If you are one of my Patreon supporters, you will get a sneak access to the draft version of the video, but that's only like half finished. So
I take the 2 insights goal, please. The
Yes.
bottom one.
and we get some new
Thank
goals. Right. Extra find. So I'm still only in grassland and forest, so I can only have one of these things. What is it that I need?
Oh, I stood up the wrong guy. I thought it was a blue piece. Darn it.
I'm going to take some wax. I found some wax in the forest.
I went back to my favorite spot from last turn and found some herbs.
So I've got swamp or grassland. So I can see if there's anything that I need. Not directly. I will take a gold. Let's go with from the grasslands.
You're not in the grassland.
Am I not?
You're
Is
not
that-
in the
oh,
grassland.
no, I'm not.
You
Right,
left.
no, it's forest. I don't know why I keep get those 2 colours mixed up.
It's just me and Stevie in the grassland
I'll take Pete from the swamp.
having a game of one-a-side football.
One of.
I apparently have tackled you.
Right.
Okay, I'll
So
go
that was that. We now go into the action phase. Off we go. So I feel that it's coming together. Sort of. Ish.
You mean your plan?
Well, I want to be doing things that make favour checks. Because I've got 2 dice and my favour checks now succeed on a 1 to 3. So I've got a 75% chance of passing a favour check. But I do need to find things that actually give me favour checks. Now, what have we got here? Ah, right. No, I know what I want to do. But I didn't migrate. I was greedy, wasn't I? I was greedy. I'm going to migrate now. So I'm going to use a 1 and a 3. And I'm going to migrate. So I can't migrate with this one because he's tired. I want to procreate before I do this. Oh, dear. So I'm going to migrate into... Oh, no, that's interesting. That is interesting. I'm going to migrate into... If I migrate into that forest, it's still adjacent to the Mushroom Valley, but it's only adjacent to one site. That is a little bit rubbish. But I think we're going to do it. So I'm going to migrate from this forest into this forest. I'm going to get 2 points. Can I have 2 points, please, Chris?
You can.
And I'm going to develop the territory. There's oil
In them there.
their trees. So I've migrated. I've moved into there. I've developed it. I got the 2 points, and that's it.
I'm gonna do a research action. I'm gonna draw this card.
Just going to set that one.
Mm-hmm. All good.
Okay. I am going to use an idea to turn one of my 1s into a 6, and I'm going to do the invention action. And I think, and so the iconography.
You've upgraded it to level 3.
I have,
Wow.
yes. So now I can do an invention, but ignore one of the costs of it.
With one exception.
With one, as long as it's not.
There's one exception. You have to pay at least something. So
Yes.
if you have a card
No,
with
I
only
need to do
one
it all
cost,
first. Sorry.
you can't get it for free.
Yeah, no, I can't do that quite yet. I've missed something that I need to get to be able to do it. Sorry.
Yeah, so once you upgrade these right-hand modules to level 3, they become really powerful.
I got the iconography right and then forgot that I actually needed one.
What do you
one
need?
thing to actually, I need our ore, which is not particularly useful because there's no way to actually get it yet.
Iron ore. It's either here,
Yeah, so
or
I'm gonna have to
here.
migrate. I don't really want to go into those mountains because that glacier's there, but I can
can have
try
the
and
glacier.
move away from it, I guess. Right, well, I've got a lot of 1s and 3s again, so let's do a migration.
Run away.
I'm going to try my fate check to see whether I can do an extra migration because I've got the level 2.
Yes, so the level 2 migration is make a favour check, and if you succeed, you get 2 migrations.
Right, I'm going to spend an idea to do
Okay,
2.
which means we get to explain another rule. So if you are ever doing multiple migrations at the same time, and if you move the same tribe more than once, they only get to develop the territory that they end their movement in. If you move 2 separate tribes, they both get to develop, but if you move one twice, they don't get to develop as they're moving through. So, where do you want to go?
So I'm going to take this tribe and migrate once to there, but won't get anything.
You are going to do 2. Yeah.
And then I will hop to here.
Okay, so you get 2 points.
Yeah.
And you develop those mountains. What have you found?
Oil, hopefully. Oh, iron ore.
I
Just
know.
what I wanted.
Because you could have gone one into there and one into there.
Yeah, I
But
could
did you want to
actually.
stay in the forest?
No, I think I'll stay there because I'm going to need to try and get some food at some point
Right.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got the 2 points.
I did, yes.
You're all good.
Yep.
That is your migration done.
Yep.
Right. So I'm building up for this. So I've upgraded. I'm going to show this because I'm quite proud of this. I've upgraded my exploration module to level 3. And I'm going to activate it with a 1 and a 4. So what that means is I can either get 2 lucky finds or I'm going to do this. So this is an exploration as normal, but in addition, I get to flip over any one site anywhere on the board. And I also get 4 additional points because I've got a telescope. So I'm going to explore from here, which is just this one, which is a building ground. So that gets me 1 point, but I get 4 extra.
Yep.
And now I can actually flip over any other tile anywhere else. I don't know. Let's flip over this one. And it is another building ground for another 1 point. It's a bit rubbish.
Okay.
That's fine. That's it. That's my action done. Could have been better. I was hoping for big points there. And I'm trying to find these Grimwolves so I can do this thing.
Too many things to do all at once.
Oh, yeah. Different thing I wanted to do.
How do I get all this done? I need to
Play 4 games back to back. That's the only way to accomplish everything that you want to do. I think.
That might do it. We're gonna spend an idea to turn a 3 into a 2, and we're gonna have a go at procreation.
Okay.
So first, I'll roll to see if I get a second
Are
baby.
you in favour?
I am
You are,
finally.
so you can
Yes.
procreate twice.
Put them in the same or different places. So let's put one down here in the hills. Let's put another one up here
For a
and get
point. Have a point.
Yes. That's it for now.
Okay. Double procreation.
Twins.
Okay. So I'm going to spend my other idea that I currently have to turn this 4 into a 5, and I'm going to do transport, which is slightly
So
inefficient because I've only got
You've
two
only got two.
markers out there, but I will get
Some
one
iron
iron
ore.
ore from this one.
and some papyrus.
Some papyrus, yeah.
Okay, I'm resetting.
Mhm.
So that goes down, that goes across. I'm going to re-roll all of my dice.
While you're doing that, I'll take
I'm going to have that as a food.
production step. My production was upgraded from the start of the game, so I can produce 3 items across the areas where I live, and then I can transport one of them home.
So we've not explained production. So the production module allows you to put markers on the board in territories where you have a tribe. And you're putting 3 on the board.
Mhm.
And you can put 3 in one territory, or you can mix them up however you want. But that is how you produce more goods on the map, is with the production module.
We want 3 papyrus, I think. Is that true? What am I going to do with wood anyway? All right. And then I get to transport one home?
Yeah.
This will be upgraded action.
Lots of papyrus.
It's my favorite font. You know. I'm all done.
Okay. I'm going to spend these
Popular in the
two.
80s.
I'm just going to spend these 2 3s to gain a
Some
composure.
composure. Okay.
Because I feel I might as well, and hopefully then I'll stop rolling 3s.
Yeah. Right. Well, I have what I need. So. I also have that. Oh, let's do it. I'm going to use a 6 and a 2, and I am going to play a mutation card. So I see your main, and I raise you neck frills.
Okay.
Oh.
So I need 1 stamina to play it in stage 1, which I have. So I'm going to play it here. So my immediate benefit is...
You're so lucky.
But from now on, the Grimwolves, should we ever find the Grimwolves, they're scared of me because I scare them off with my neck frills. So I don't lose food to the Grimwolves. So a 6 and a 2, played the card, got the bonus.
Reset time for me.
Okay.
It's also reset time for me.
Okay. If you two do the reset, I will take my turn. Now I know what I want to do.
That's better.
I think I'm going to do it.
Spread.
Okay, so I'm going to use the 6 and the 4, and I'm going to build, but I'm going to build a statue. So as I mentioned, you can build statues in building grounds, but you have to be adjacent to the building grounds. I'm adjacent to this one, and I'm also adjacent to that one, but the cost of building here is a gold or a copper, and the cost of building here is a gold or a jade. So I'm actually going to use this gold. I'm going to build a gold statue of myself.
That we will adore.
Yeah, and I'm going to build it here. Now, the immediate benefit for building a statue is that I can move 1 up on one of the tracks, but also my statues are going to be worth points at the end of each era. So which track do I want to move up? Bearing in mind, that track is going to be worth points this era, and that track's going to be worth points. It's got to be this one, hasn't it? It absolutely has to be that one. I don't cross a line with that, though. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So I built the statue, I got the bonus, I did that, and I'm very happy about that.
Can I have lied about my papyrus find and made one of them
Sure.
wood after all?
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe that'll come back into
You didn't have a tribe there.
I did. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're right. It's
Cotton,
not
did
wood
you
at
not?
all. It's
No?
not, nope. It
Okay.
could have been a cotton, and I don't want cotton. So
Okay.
that is correct. All right. In that case, I'm going to migrate with a 3 and a 1.
We have a question in the chat about what we think about the game. Unfortunately, for you, we're not going to give any opinions of this game in this video because this is a sponsored playthrough. If you want to find my opinions on the game, then in my monthly video logs from about 3 or 4 months ago, I did talk about my initial experiences of playing the game. But in today's video, because it's sponsored, we're not going to give any opinions on the game.
I have moved into the mountains. I found some
You
jade.
found some jade.
I claimed the settlement, which was worth 2 points. I put a token down, and I'm done.
Okay.
Right. Well, now that I actually have got what I needed to do this,
Yay.
I'm going to do this.
You're going to invent the screw.
I am. So I'm going to spend my 1 and my 6, and I use an iron ore,
Yeah.
and I can ignore, because I'm going to put it in level
Okay.
2, so I'm going to ignore the fact that I need 2 dexterity
Yeah.
to
So
be
what,
able to
what
do
Chris
it.
is doing is he's playing the card in stage 2, so it's going to go in the same column of his existing invention. But because he's playing it in stage 2, he has to pay the costs for the stage 1 and stage 2. But because he's upgraded his module to level 3, and I'll just show you this on my board quickly. Chris has upgraded this module to level 3. What that means is he can play one card and skip one of the costs, or instead he could play 2 cards. So he's going to skip the cost of playing. Skip the stage 2 cost of that card.
Yeah.
And then you took it in and you moved 2 steps up the technology track.
Yes, and because I've played an invention, I move
another
another
one
one up and get 3 victory
3 points.
points.
So 1, 2, 3. You have crossed this line here, so you can either have 1 favour, or you can activate one of your income chips.
I think I'll have a favour,
Move
please.
up to there.
Okay.
There is another use for favour as well, which is the Deus Ex Machina rules. Any time in the game that one of your tribes would die, you can actually lose a point of favour to save that tribe and stop them from dying. Which is another good reason for having them up there. Right, my go. I've got 2 5s, but I've also got a favour. Sorry, I've got a focus. The thing that I want to do is to play this. Now then. I've just realised this doesn't quite work. Do I do a reset? Do I do a reset? That's the question. No, I'm not going to do a reset. I'm going to use the focus marker as a 2, and I'm going to use the 5 as a 5, and I'm going to procreate. And we're going to have another tribe here in this forest. Right, that's my go done.
I'm going to do a trade action, I think. Haven't done one of those before.
Just realised this one.
So with the 5 and the 4, the trade action, I get to do 1 sale and 1 purchase. And a sale lets me do 2 things.
Yes.
I can sell an item for money equal to its rank, and then I can sell another item for 2 points regardless of what that item was. So that jade that I've had since the beginning of the game is going to become 3 money.
Nice.
And then this cotton that I don't have any other use for is
2
going to become
points.
2 points. Please.
2 points for red.
Yep.
And are you buying something?
I am, and the cost for buying things is 4 if it hasn't been found yet, or 2 if it has.
Yeah.
So I'll spend all 4 of my money to get a stone.
Okay, because we don't know where the stone is yet.
I was hoping it was in the mountains, but I
Yeah.
just couldn't find
So
it.
I'm just going to go through this in a bit of detail. And I'll tell you this, the first time I played this game, nobody did this in the entire game. So this is, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on this part of my player board. This is the sale and trade part of the game, which is here. So the module is over on the right hand side of the board. I will show you what the level 1 module is. It's this, which allows you to do 1 sale and 1 purchase. It's a little bit misleading because it's not really 1 sale. It's actually 2. Each sale allows you to, as Stevie just did, remove 1 resource of your choice or 1 material of your choice to get money, and another one to get 2 points. And that both of those things is 1 sale. And they don't even have to be the same thing. Now, the money that you get for something depends on which column it is, and that is based on here. So any resource that's in the top is worth 1 money, anything that's here is worth 2 money, and anything that's here is worth 3 money. And then he just got rid of another resource and got 2 points. And then you can buy, let's just remove these, you can buy 1 resource and it is 4 money if that territory, if you can't see that on the board, if that particular resource has not been found, or if it has been found, it costs 2 money. The trade and sale option is a really good way to get the thing that you need. And also to get rid of excess resources that you don't want, you can get rid of them for money and points. Which is exactly what you just did.
Working on it.
Right, your go's done.
Okay, I'm going to do a sustenance action because I'm going to need some food shortly.
Where are you going hunting?
I think it's going to have to be
Best place is the
forest.
water, next best place is the forest.
Yeah, it's going to be
So,
forest. Yeah.
You've only got 1 die. See what you get.
5.
That is 3 food.
Okay.
It can't be any better. So there's no need for you to adjust it with ideas.
It's fine by me.
3 food. Nicely done. The rabbits have come back.
It's exactly what I needed.
I'm going to reset.
Mr.
So
Rossetti.
that goes there. That goes there. I'm going to keep the 5. Am I keeping the 5? I'm not going to keep the 5.
While he's resetting, I'm going to keep purchasing dice. So 6 and a 5 becomes a fate die. Rolled too many misses on these. I want to start succeeding. Go ahead.
And I'm going to do a quick one again because I've got 2 double 3s. I'm just going to use them to get another composure. Yeah, move those off my board from last time. Thank you.
More composure.
Yes.
So steady your hands.
We haven't talked about these attribute chips yet, but we might do
That's
that
what he's
later on.
building up for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's come around a bit quick.
Quite useful.
I need more cards. Sustenance for me. So I'm going to use a 4 and a 2, and I'm going to go hunting in the forest. And I've got 2 dice. See what we get. 3s, 4s, or 5s are good. There's a 4. That's good. I'll have 3 food. Nom nom nom. You'll go.
I think it's time to reset.
I've got this, and someone's just is singing in the
did you
chat
get?
because I was next to the Mushroom Valley.
Oh, yeah.
I should have got an extra food.
Ditto.
Thank you, chat.
We did forget about the Mushroom Valley.
What is these ones? Oh no.
You've moved it along.
I have.
You've done anything. Okay.
I'm resetting as well.
Wow,
'cause I've
age
got
2
no
is
other
almost
choice.
over. I wanted to get this played. And I wanted to do that. And I wanted to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
So many things were supposed to have already happened.
And 3s, shockingly.
okay. So I can't do the thing that I want to do.
An idea.
Again, we're in the situation of do we procreate just before the end of the era because then it's more mouths to feed? No, is the answer. See, my special thing that I start with was to do 2 different activities, but I've only still got 1 activity. I can't play that. I could play that. I've built a statue. I'm happy about that. Can I build another statue? I could. Oh. Oh, hello. Yes. I think we're going to build another statue. So I'm going to use the 6, and I'm going to use the 5 modified with an idea to a 4. And we're going to build another statue. And this time it's going to be a statue of copper here.
Also shiny.
Also very, very shiny. Not polished. That's going to come later. But
So I decided to take that reset token as an idea,
mhm.
so that I can turn one of these dreadful 1s into a 6 and play a purple card. The purple card is the Tannery. It says I immediately get to take or complete a goal. So I will complete this herbs goal. Paying herbs. And then that's going to go face down over here. And then as the ongoing effect, whenever I hunt, I get a money and 2 victory points. And I have to spend a brimstone to play it because it's going into slot.
Again, thematically, you've got a tannery. So you go hunting, catch the pigs and the boars, and then you can actually do something with the...
Make some fancy leather goods.
Yeah.
All set. Also, it's near the end of the era, so there might be some hunting.
Yeah, just realised what I should have done. Should have done the planning and completed that. Never mind.
I'm going to use my 1 and an idea to turn a 3 into a 2 to do a research.
Which type of research?
This one.
2 cards?
No, I'm just going to take 1
You're
card.
gonna take a card.
I'm going to take this insight card.
Yeah. Okay, so I could reset, which would trigger the end of the era. If I don't reset, I'm looking at either a 6 and a 1, which is no real good. A 6 and a 2, which is no real good. A 6 and a 3. Or a 2 and a 5, which is procreate, which you don't want to do just yet. Or a 2 and a 6. Or a 2 and a 1, which is research.
Stacy mentioned that you forgot to go up a track when you built your copper statue.
I did, thank you. Thank you. Well, we'll do that now quickly. I'll go up that one, and that allows me to upgrade a prestige tile, a green tile. Okay, do we want loads and loads and loads of people? Not sure I do. People are not scoring right. Oh, they are going to score here, though. So if I can feed these people, it would actually be quite good. But... Oh, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Yeah, okay, let's... Okay, let's not think too much. Yeah, we'll upgrade the procreation module. And now as my final action for the era, I am going to use an idea to turn the 6 into a 5. And with a 2, and I'm going to procreate. So the first thing I do is a favour check. There's a high chance that this works because on a 1 to 4, just, so I get to procreate twice. Now, if I go here, they're going to have to lie down for the glacier. Whereas
one of them will.
A glacier won't affect anybody who is already weak. So I think we're going to do that, which is a little silly.
That's the Forest of Paul.
It is. That is my forest.
It's not your last action of the era.
It's not my last action because I didn't. No, I didn't. And if I had have done, I would have still got one more.
Yeah.
But I will be resetting next turn. So if one of you two resets, my reset will be the last action. Okay.
I have hunting to do. So let's take the 4 and the focus token to do some sustenance. The best hunting option I have is the hills. It's a bit better than the mountains, but it's not great.
Okay, so you're hunting in the hills.
Hunting in the hills.
Which is here.
Hopefully I find something more than just cotton.
Okay, let's see what you get.
6.
Well,
Or
6
a
is
3.
1, or a 3 is 3.
I'll take 3.
3 food, and it's not next to the Mushroom Valley.
Unfortunately.
It's not. So 3 food.
That is enough, I think, for my turn.
Okay, I'm going to spend a 3 and a 5 to
Also
do
get a money.
a production.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a favour check to see whether I get to transport one of them. Is that right? Yeah. Do I want to change that to a 1? What am I thinking of doing? Ore and wood or coal? I think I'll just leave it and just produce 2.
Okay.
So
produce 2 goods, which can be wherever you want.
do an iron ore. Wood, I think. So that's there. Yeah.
Okay,
Go.
can I go?
Yes.
I got no dice. I'm going to reset. So that triggers the end. So we finish this turn. Sorry, finish this round and then one more round. I'm going to re-roll these dice. And then I can have that.
Spread.
I'm going to have that as an idea. So I've got lots of food at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. You have 2 turns left.
Yeah, I've got enough food to get through the winter. Don't have a lot of stuff to trade with. 5-1 is to transport, and those goods, they're fine. And 4-1 is to explore, but I'm not in a space that has a lot of great stuff. I could have a lucky find. Spot that gives me particularly awesome options. So I am in that position where I feel like the numbers are not great for me. So I am gonna sleep.
Okay.
So I take 2 dice of any value.
Any 2 dice.
They just happen to be double ones because I rolled too many of them last time.
And you get 1 focus
Or 2 ideas.
2 ideas.
Do the 2 ideas.
Chris.
Right. I am going to. What am I going to do? I don't have that for that, so I can't do that. Okay. Do we do a 5 and a 6? It's gonna, yeah, just do another dice. I'm gonna spend an insight idea, sorry, to change that 5 into a 6, and then I'm going to use those to do an achievement and get another dice.
White one or pink one?
I will have white, please.
Take it and re-roll it.
It's 3, surprisingly.
Back to your old ways?
Yeah. That's my turn. And
Well, choices. So, I'm going to do a 4 and a 3, and I'm going to complete a goal. Do I have at least 2 people next to a mushroom valley?
You have 4 people.
I have 4 people, so I'm going to complete this goal. All sorts of things is going to happen now. The first thing is, I have emptied a stack on here, which means I'm going to get to upgrade one of my modules. And the module that I'm going to upgrade is, he says, I'm going to upgrade the planning action. So that upgrades like that. Then I'm going to flip this goal, and I could put it there. I am legally allowed to put it there, but I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it here. What that has done is that has completed stage 1. And when you complete stage 1, I gain an income chip, and I immediately get to activate that income chip. So, oh look, there's another income chip that gets focus markers.
It's too good.
It's
too good.
It's good, isn't it? It is very good. Although there is one that is a favour check to move up this track. Although that track is meh. I'm gonna take this one. I'm absolutely gonna take this one.
Of course you will.
Now, I'm not sure where to put this.
I'll give you a suggestion.
And the odd thing is, you can actually put it there. If you really want to. It's not worth any points unless you flip that over. You are allowed to put it there. But I'm going to put it here. And then I immediately get to activate it. I'm going to have a focus mark. That was my last turn for Era 2.
So now it's my last go, and I was going to do a thing. It was going to be migrating, because I want to run away from the glacier. So one of these new ideas that I got turns the 4 into a 3. So 3 and a 1 can be used to do the migration action.
You have 2 tribes adjacent to the glacier.
I might get
You're going to try and do both, yeah?
I did.
You did, you got a 1.
So both of these guys are going to run the heck away.
Run away!
This fella is going to go off into the desert here, I think, and be worth 2 points.
And you develop the desert.
And find some sand.
Sand in the desert. Who would have thought?
This fella's going to run into another desert very far away from the cold glacier. And he's going to find some copper. So I get 2 tokens.
Marker there and a marker there.
On the map.
Okay.
Okay.
Chris, final action of Era 2.
Resetting with my final action of Era 2.
Yeah.
So we don't
Ready for Era 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that 3. And then that's going to come as an idea.
Chris, you didn't roll any 3s.
I know.
Are you feeling well?
I'm pleased that I didn't move the 3 now in a strange way.
Okay.
Perhaps your composure is kicking in.
Not sure if you mentioned this. You can also get a victory point. Yes, I did mention it. Whenever you are activating an income chip, you can always choose to take 1 point instead of what's printed on the tile. So we have the site phase. We have the Gorge of the Grimwolves. No, we haven't found
it yet.
We have the glacier. I'm next to the glacier, but I'm already weak, so it doesn't have any effect on me.
Still cold.
Everybody else ran away. We now have the Mystic Oak. We haven't found any Mystic Oaks. Right, feeding phase. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tribes. Again, you do not need to feed your tribes. It is optional, but I am going to feed all of my 5 tribes.
I mean, you get a point for them if they're still strong.
Yes.
In a second, so I'm going to feed all mine as well.
I have 3, and I'm going to feed all of mine as well.
And then we get 1, and nobody's got any farms, so it's not cheaper.
Nope.
And now we get 1 point per strong tribe. So can I have 4 points, please?
Same here.
3 for me, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 for Stevie.
Okay, now we have the event phase. So in the event phase, the weather drops by 1 and it becomes cold, which means...
Oh no. Why did I pay for all? I guess I got a point out of it. One of my guys is about to die.
So if you wanted to undo that, but
No,
everybody
fine.
has to spend a food or somebody dies. Now remember, you can save that person if you have favour, but what you might want to do is save a food. No?
Nah.
Okay.
This guy over here ran off into the desert and didn't come home.
So I'm going to spend a food,
I'm spending a food as well.
keep my people alive in the very, very cold. Then we do the event itself. So the civilization that has the highest total of resources. I have 1.
I have 2, so it's
I've got
definitely.
3.
I've got quite a few.
So Chris, you have got a leap in evolution. You may take
Yeah.
up to 3 of your markers
Okay,
and turn them into features.
I am going to.
That seems
What do I want?
very strong.
So I'm going to take a Pyrus. I've got 2. I'm going to turn it into an intelligence, and I'm going to take a.
While Chris is thinking, we will
Stolt
answer
and turn it into vision.
the question in the chat. Now, as I mentioned at the start, this is a sponsored video, so we're not here to, try and persuade you to go and buy the game. We're here to help you make a decision about whether it's the kind of game that you might want to buy. So we can't answer the question ourselves of would you say this is a must game if you love complex Civ-themed games that are coming out at Essen. I'll let other people answer that in the chat.
You could maybe read from our activity, facial expressions, but that's on you.
That's on you. First of all, this is a civilization game, and it is a complex civilization game.
And it happens to be coming out at Essen.
And it happens to be coming out at Essen. So there's 3 of the 4. But yeah, we're not here to try and sell you the game, just here to show you how it plays and help you make that decision yourself.
Yeah. I'm done.
We did it. Right,
Yep.
okay. Scoring. So the scoring criteria is 4 points for each step up the prestige track. I am on 6, so I get 24 points.
You know, at some point I thought that was going to be where I got all my points. And it just
63.
didn't happen.
Red.
12 for me, please.
12 points for Red.
45.
So how's your prestige, Chris?
Not very good.
But he's got
What
composure.
you need is a nice crown. So I got the most points from that. And now we go into income. So I'm going to do both of my income chips and get 2 more focus.
I'm going to roll for my chance migration.
I don't think I can
It will
complete
fail.
any of my goals, so there's no. So I'm just going to take a point.
And I get to transport something home.
Or stand somebody up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody's
Anyone's
lying
standing down. They're just dead instead. Let's take a copper home.
Okay. Next, statues. I have 2 statues. My statues are worth 3 points each.
And this is definitely the benefit of having played quite a lot. You are as
So
expected.
I will tell you
But
that
running away from
in
it.
all of my other games, I've come last.
Okay. First time for everything then.
First, yeah. I feel that I'm doing better.
Mm-hmm.
Hunting markers get removed.
It's 2.
3.
The rabbits
it's
have come
3.
back,
Here's 3.
but it's still early days. And we refill our reset markers. And now we go into Era 3. We are halfway through the game. Okay. Right. And I'm going first.
Are you?
I am. Because I got more points from that.
Oh, it's that
event.
one, isn't it? Yes.
That
Sorry, I
one.
got the event and that one mixed
Yeah,
up. Yep, you're right.
So, new
Points
cards. We need a new event. Would you like to read out what the new event is?
The beginning of summer. It's going to get warm, thankfully. We're going to get out of this cold weather. And every civilization will gain 3 points for each of its own swamp and desert territories. Come back, dead guy. Come back. And in addition, they will gain 1 resource in each of those territories.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is nice because if it had have continued to get cold, people will die and there's nothing you can do about it apart from the Deus Ex Machina. But as it is, summer is here and it's going to get a lot warmer. Sylvester is asking, is there no military aspect in the game? So there are a few cards which do have a negative effect on other players. There's not many of them. And if we get to the end of the playthrough and we've not seen any of them, I will grab some and I will show you them.
Many of them are mutations like claws and
Yeah.
venom and things like
Yeah,
that.
or pointy sticks, things
And
like
then
that.
whenever you move in and procreate in a space, you can bump somebody out of their
Yeah.
settlements.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a contest there for territory.
Right, I know exactly what I want to do this era. And I don't have the dice for it. I can't reset because I've got 4 dice, so I'm just going to have to do something with what I've got. I do have lots of focus though. So I can do anything I want to do with the focus. But I think I want to save that for when it's absolutely critical. Okay, so I've got a 1 and a 2. I could draw some cards. I mean, I am running out of cards, and I do want to play some more cards, but that temple is blooming expensive. I want to play this as well at some point, but I can't play that. Wow, these cards are expensive.
Yep.
Really expensive. Sagas is nice. But again, I don't have that. Yeah, this is tricky. Very tricky. So I am going to research. I'm going to use a 1 and a 2. I'm going to research. I'm going to draw 2 face down cards and choose one of them. And I think I'm going to take 2 mutation cards. And the one that I don't want, I believe, goes to the bottom of the deck.
Well, you're thinking I'll just jump ahead and do a reset because I'm out of dice at the beginning of the arrow.
Oh, hang on.
We haven't done the rest
Sorry,
of this. What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we
Jumping
doing?
ahead. Oh no.
Sorry.
That's why this token exists.
That's why this token exists. Is anybody in the chat? Yes, we still have 2 faces. Let's undo quickly. Apologies, got very excited.
We need to pick some new goals first.
Zip, zip, zip. New goals. Right, me first. Which one of them am I most likely to be able to do? Well, bearing in mind, I already know what my first action is going to be. I'm going to take a mutations goal.
I had a jade and then I lost it. I'm in one hills and kind of sort of near another one. So let's take that.
I don't want one.
Fair enough.
That's a possibility, isn't it? Yeah.
You don't have to take one.
Declining. Thank
Let's
you.
Let's have 2 new goals. Right, extra find. I'm still only in forest and grassland. So I'm going to do an extra find and I'm going to find some gold. Done. Shivy, you have a choice of swamp. Sorry, no.
Desert
And hills.
Yeah.
And Chris, you have a
I'm
choice
gonna
of
take
swamp
a
or
stone.
forest. Or mountains.
Or mountains.
Mountains,
I'm
yes.
going to take a stone from the mountains.
I guess I'll take a clay.
Okay, and then we go into the action phase. So I'm going to use a 1 and a 2, and I'm going to draw these 2 cards, and I'm going to have a think about which one I want, because they're actually both good.
And I'm going to perform a reset.
Okay.
I think I'll take this one.
I'm going to take that one. Okay, Chris.
I'm going to do a transport, but it's going to be a fairly inefficient transport again.
Okay.
But 1 and a 5, so I'm going to take the iron ore and take that wood. Iron ore. Done.
I am going to use a reset. Yeah, use an idea. Turn the 5 into a 6. Do a 6 and a 2, and I'm going to play a green card. So it's got to go here. It's a stage 2 card, so I need to pay the first 2 costs. But there isn't a stage 2 cost. I just need to pay 1 stamina. Sorry, not pay. I need to have 1 stamina, which I do. The immediate benefit is getting a favour. And I now have an activity that I can do, but only if it's warm or hot.
All right.
Okay.
So why did I play the card? It's because it's another green card. And it gets me a favour.
So your statues are worth
That's why I
max
played it.
value now.
No, I already did that.
Oh, you did move it.
I
Right?
did that. But I now have... This is why I did it.
All coming up.
Roses.
Well then, for me, bit of a quandary. I would love to get some of these cards out finally.
So we want to be in swamp and desert.
Yeah. Let's try doing some procreation. So a 5 and a 2.
That's how it works.
I don't roll these.
You can roll them if you want.
Doesn't
You
help.
like rolling dice?
Roll these. Maybe get a second baby.
You do.
Do. So
2 procreations.
they're both gonna go. I guess there's only one place for a baby here, and we'll put the other one over there.
So when you procreate, as we mentioned earlier, you are allowed to bump somebody else out from an encampment. What happens is you become weakened because you're having to use force to push them out. They get moved into the wilderness. You are allowed to push yourself out. Now you might think, well, why would I want to do that? is because one of the encampments is worth points. So Stevie could, if he wanted to, have procreated in this desert, kicked himself out. That would have become weak. That would have gone into the wilderness, but he would have got 2 points for doing it. So you are allowed to kick anybody out, even your own tribe. And I think that is what Jill's asking in the chat, is how does the bumping out work? And that's how it works.
Okay.
It's a peaceful kind of...
Very, very less stabby death.
Right. I'm going to use a 3 and a 4 to do a planning action. And I'm going to
Complete
a goal.
And that requires you to spend...
Just that one. Spend my iron ore.
Yep. So you've emptied a stack.
Yeah.
So you get to upgrade one of your modules.
Which is...
And then you flip the goal over.
Yeah.
You can be thinking while I
Yes,
take my
I will
turn.
do.
Because I'm resetting.
Oh, I don't want to flip.
6 and a 4 for me does the building action, and I'm going to build a farm.
Oh.
Putting a farm in my hills where I have 3 people so that they won't need food at the end of the round. The farm will feed them.
That's what a farm does. If you've got a farm in a territory, all of your tribes in that territory require 1 fewer food to feed them. So because he's got 3 tribes in there, they are all fed.
Everybody there thinks that that was a good idea.
Yes.
So I get an idea.
There is an immediate bonus whenever you build a farm. You gain 1 idea.
Okay. What did I want to do next?
Same thing we do every night. Try to take
Take
over the world.
But peacefully.
Yes.
Less stabby death.
Yeah. Okay, so that would go in there. So that would mean I need to do a 6 and a 3, which I can't do. So I can't do that right now. I could do that and use a wood, which I do have quite a lot of. So building would be a 4 and a 6. Let's do that then. So I'm going to use my last idea to change my 5 into a 6, and I'm going to do a building action to build a building.
What are you building?
I'm building a stable.
It's a good thing.
Which will cost me, because it's going in the...
It's going in stage 1.
going in stage 1, so it'll cost me 1 wood.
Let's talk about overbuilding. No, let's not talk about overbuilding. Because it's
Okay.
not worth any points.
No.
That's another thing that we might talk about later,
Okay.
if it's relevant.
So I immediately get
Immediate
one
gain of
favour.
And is there a permanent ability on it?
There is, so whenever I do an activity for each farm I have, I would get a food and a victory point.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I don't have any currently, but...
Stable goes along quite well with all your composure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
both of you two are close to completing stage 1.
Yeah.
Right. My go? I'm
Yes.
going to use a 3 and a 1, and I'm going to migrate, and we're going to leave this lovely forest where we've been for a long time, and we're going to go into this desert and go, this territory has already been developed. Where's all the copper gone? But I do get 2 points. That's my go done.
It's planning time for me, I think.
Volcano is not adjacent. Nope, the volcano is not adjacent. So if you look carefully, that volcano is adjacent to these hills, this forest, and this desert. So it's absolutely safe to build a farm there.
Yeah, let's do a planning. So an idea turns a 5 to a 4. Use a 3. Complete the goal. I have a person and a farm in the hills.
In the same hills. Yes.
Yeah.
And then that
You
means
get to do
I
that,
get to upgrade a
and then you
module,
get to do that,
and I get
so-
to take an income.
Yeah.
So let's put that here, and the best income token, I think it's the one that helps me complete further goals. We'll just pile this thing
Yeah,
up here.
nice.
It's worth points.
So you immediately activate that income token,
Yes, and I can roll.
or you get a point.
I will just get a point because I can't actually complete one of my 2 other goals. So
Right.
Red, have a point, please.
So red has a point.
Yep.
And you get to upgrade one of your modules.
Yeah, that one I'll think about as the turn continues.
Stage 1 is complete.
Okay, I'm going to do a reset because I only have 1 dice left, but I'm not going to re-roll that dice. I'm going to keep it.
Yep.
So re-roll all these dice, and then I will turn that into a food. Okay.
Okay, so I really want a 1 and a 4. Yeah. I think I might be doing
I
some
didn't get
focus.
the one number that I actually wanted.
But I need to do that. Why didn't I do
Yeah,
that
actually, I'm going to
first?
turn that into an idea and not into a food.
Okay. Do we sleep?
Who needs sleep?
Sleep data. I think because I've got these 3 focus markers, but I'm going to sleep. So I'm going to spend these 2 twos to sleep and get 2 ideas.
I've chosen to upgrade my achievement module because I had a 6 and a 5 left, and that means I can use it right away.
You get 1 of each dice.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
Maybe,
Very nice.
Maybe my luck will be better from now. I get another 6, and I'll probably be resetting soon. All done.
Okay, so I am going to spend the idea that I've just got to turn this 2 into a 3. I'm going to spend my 3 and 6 and insight, because I've got the upgraded insight. I can get 6 ideas.
6
with
ideas.
Whoa.
Wow.
That. Give me some options.
Someone's been thinking.
Well,
You all done?
yes.
I'm resetting.
As I. 1, 2.
Oh,
Wow. I'm going to keep the 6, but I'm going to re-roll the 2.
I guess I'll play a lot of cards today. I rolled 4 6s.
okay, I better get deciding what I want to do next then, I suppose.
Oh dear. That is not what we wanted.
Did make a lot of babies.
Intelligence.
And I'm going to have a food.
Good job I did that, because I'm going to do another insight. But I'm going to use it to play a card this time. So I'm going to use an idea to turn a 2 into a 3.
Yep.
And a 5 into a 6.
Got 6 and a 3 for another insight.
Yes, but this time I'm going to play a card.
And that card is being played into stage 2, so you require 2 intelligence.
Which I've
you've
got.
So what is it?
So it's an architectural statics, and whenever I build a settlement, I can return one of the stored materials that I spend as the building cost into my storage afterwards.
Okay, so
Wow.
rebate.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Here, have that stone back. Okay?
Yes, it is.
Right, so. I don't want to wait. Although, nobody else is... Oh. Can't do that because of that. Can't do that because of that. Need that because... Oh.
I need to do... Oh no, I'm next to the building ground.
Double 4.
More sleep.
Dexterity.
Uh-huh. How nimble.
Yeah.
One of my ideas turns one of my plethora of 6s into a 1 so that I can migrate. I'll roll my 3 dice and hope to get a 1. I do,
Got
so
a
I can
1.
have 2 migrations.
2 migrations.
So this fellow will head west into the other hills.
That's east.
Oh, okay.
And they're not adjacent.
Well, not from my perspective. Yeah, but I have 2 steps.
Oh, so you're going
The
there
double
and then
migration.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get 2 points for finding the first settlement,
Okay.
and I develop the place, and that's where the brimstone's been. this whole time.
Brimstone.
Okay.
That's it for my action.
Right. I am going to use another one of the many ideas that I just got to turn this 5
James is
into
in
a
the chat.
6.
Hi, James. Thank you for joining in. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
And
Couple of weeks. It's not long, is it?
Mm.
I'm going to spend a 4 and a 6 to do a building action, and I'm actually going to build this time.
You're
So
going to build a
I'm gonna
settlement.
Build a settlement,
So
yes.
your first settlement, or the leftmost settlement, is a papyrus and a wood.
Yep,
So you have to pay them,
yes.
but then you get one of those back.
And I'm going to get the papyrus back.
Okay.
'Cause
Where are
it
you
will
going to put the settlement?
Help me with the next one.
It can go here.
That's the only place I can put it, because it's the only building ground I'm next to.
Yeah. It's a busy building ground, this.
There.
And the bonus for building a settlement is you get an income chip.
Oh,
Which one would you like?
so let's roll to go up. Is that one of them? No, it's not now. I think 'cause I'm doing the brown track anyway. I will get the fate roll to go up the brown track.
And you activate it immediately.
Okay, and I need to decide where I want to put it, don't I?
Yeah.
I think, but then it makes inventions harder if I put it in there, but it is worth points. But then that's the last one I can actually score off. So I think I'll just put it in there.
Okay.
Okay, and I roll to see whether...
Or take a point. But you got 50-50.
I've got quite a few
ideas, yeah.
ideas as well.
There you go, you got
3
it. So you move one step up the
brown track.
invention track.
Yeah, the
which
invention track, yeah.
crosses the line. So you can upgrade one of your modules that contains the number 1.
Okay. think, because I'm probably going to need to use it soon, I'll upgrade the migration. Okay.
Are you all done?
Yes.
Right. So I think I can now do this. I'm going to use a 6. And I'm going to use an idea to turn the other 6 into a 5. And I'm going to play an achievement card. And the achievement card I'm going to play is Polish. Now, I can't put it in stage 1 because stage 1's full. So it's going to have to be in stage 2 or higher. But I'm going to put it in stage 2 and I'm going to put it in here. So I have to pay 1 wax because I'm polishing my statues. And I have to have 2 dexterity because I have to climb to the top of the statues to polish them. But the ability is I can either take a new goal or complete a goal.
You have 2.
And I have 2 mutations, so I'm going to complete that goal. So that gets slotted into there. I have emptied a stack, which means I can upgrade one of these. So I'm going to upgrade that. And then I'm going to put the goal there. So that is a turn that I'm happy with.
I'm going to use the mutation action with a 6 and a 2 to be less vision focused and more expressive.
So we've not explained this, but the mutation action allows you to move one of your features from one of its spaces to another space. And the reason why you might want to do that is because of these attribute chips that we haven't actually explained yet. We will do if somebody takes one, and if nobody takes one at the end of the game, I'll explain how they work there. Small note, you don't have to build the leftmost settlement first. Yes, that's why I said the leftmost one costs that rather than the first one. You can actually build any settlement you want, but both of you two have built your leftmost one first.
Yeah, I did it because I've got a stone already as well, so it kind of getting one back chains into me being able to build the second one.
So thank you for the clarification.
And I'm going to do a reset because I've only got 1 dice left, but I'm going to keep my 1.
It's almost done already.
It's almost done.
What if I had things to do?
I've got things to do.
Okay.
And I'm happy with what I've done, but...
Lots of 3s.
You've done quite a lot.
Well, I've now polished my statues, so they're actually worth more points.
That was definitely important, yes.
I'd like to build another statue if I could.
I just need to go nip downstairs.
I'm sure you
2
would.
seconds.
I can. I've got a 6, and I've got a focus marker. I've got some gold.
Yeah. All of these things are true.
Let's build another statue. Why not? Okay, so a 6. Okay, let's use an idea. No. Because in income, I'm about to get 2 more focus markers. So I'm going to use a 6, and that as a 4. And I'm going to build another statue here. So that is it. My limit is done there. And I'll remember it this time. Building a statue moves me up on one of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's worth 3 more points if I do it now. So let's do it now. I'll move up on the technology track, which crosses that line, so I get to upgrade one of my brown modules. Let's upgrade the research module to the side. Right, that's that, and that done.
Going to use a 6 and a 2 with an idea. Becomes a 3. Take the insight action. Play a card into stage 2 because I haven't played any insight cards before. And when I build settlements, I get some track movement and victory points.
So urbanism.
Should have maybe played that before I built the first one, but
Okay.
the timing didn't allow it to happen.
We've got to wait for Chris, because Chris has just popped out for a comfort break. While Chris has gone, I wanted to tell you that if you're watching this video and you think, oh my god, this is overwhelming, there are 4 of these included in the game. This is an overview booklet. It gives you an explanation of all of the iconography that you're going to need. It also gives you a summary of all of the stuff, all of the markers and what they do. And it has a summary of all of the sites. And it has a summary of every single module in the game. Now, you may have noticed none of us have looked at that at all in this playthrough. And you two have only played it twice before.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not trying to sell you the game. What I am trying to explain to you is, once you've played the game a couple of times, you don't actually need this. This is great when you are learning the game, and it's great if people need a bit of a refresher. But we are not experts at this game by any stretch of the imagination. And none of us have looked at this once in the entire game. The iconography is so good.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that from a an objective and subjective point of view, it is just really, really clear.
I used it a little bit last night, and that was the second time I've played the game. So
Right.
now, like on the third, it's really, but like you said, the
You-
iconography.
you don't-
it just
you don't
is
need it.
no.
You don't
No.
need it. You shall go.
Okay,
We haven't triggered the end yet,
right.
but
You only have 1 die.
I have, but I don't need to reset because I have 2 focus markers.
Yeah,
So
but
I-
I think you're gonna do it.
Yeah, I am. Totally going to reset.
I'm going to use a 1 and a 3 to do a migrate, and I have
Oh, yeah,
got my
great,
level
isn't it?
3 migrate now, so I can do a fate check to potentially get 3. It's a 3, so that
You've
succeeds.
passed your fate check.
So I can do 3 migrations.
3 migrations, which
So
could
we
be
want
one
to be in
person, 3
swamps and
spaces.
deserts, don't we?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I don't think I can get someone into a desert from where I am now, but I can get someone else into a swamp.
I can't migrate him because he's tired.
So I'm going to go migrate this guy 1 and then 2, which will get me 2 victory
points.
points. And then I am going to migrate this guy, which I can't get into a desert, but I can get somewhere that it can develop. So we'll go over into this forest instead, which will get me another 2 victory points and a develop, which is wax.
You found the wax. Tell you what, we've done a lot more exploring and developing than I saw in my last 3-player game of this.
Mhm. But no one's built a boat in this game. Which
Nobody's
seems to be
built a
in the
boat
last one.
at all.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I'm going to reset. So that triggers the end. So we're going to finish this round and do one more.
Finish and do 1 more, which means I really ought to reset myself.
Am I keeping the 3? Am I keeping the 3? No, I'm not keeping the 3. No, I'm not keeping the 3.
Yeah, I'm also going to reset and do this. So the marker doesn't move forward because it's at the end of the track. Reroll everything and then decide if I want to keep that. And the question is, do I get the dice I need to go hunting? And I did. So
Yes. Oh yeah, hunting.
Is it back right to me again?
It is.
And I've got 2 more turns.
You will have 2 more
correct?
turns. This one and then one more.
Okay. So I want to do mutation.
That was food. Okay, so I've got 5
Do I
tribes.
want to try and do
You've got 5 food.
production as
Okay.
well?
And the weather's going to be
So I would need a 3
Mild
and
again.
5.
right. Okay,
But
good.
that's only 1. Okay, that's not very much use then.
There is a question in the chat. It's a very good question. What happens if you reset and you have no markers? Now, I've never seen this happen. I do cover it in my how to play video, but basically you don't. You still do that, but you don't get the idea or the food. And yeah, Moritz says in 50+ game of this, it's only happened in a very special situation. Oh, and that's not even possible anymore. So okay. It's in the rules and it's in my how to play video, but I've
Just
never
in
seen
case.
it. I've never seen it happen.
Right, I only have 1 food, so I feel like I need some more food, or some of my guys are gonna. So we
Hunting
need to do a
time?
hunt. So I need a 2 and a 4. So I'm gonna spend 2 ideas to turn that into a 2 and that into a 4.
Where are you going
And
hunting?
We'll go hunting in
In the
that
forest?
forest.
Yeah.
And that's a 5.
It's 3 food.
That will do.
No Mushroom Valley.
Nope. Not this time. Okay. I think that's that.
Okay, so my last action for the 3rd era. And I'm tempted to explore. The problem is if it's a bad thing, then I'm gonna be a bit stuck. Could build a boat. I can't build. I got nothing. I'm running a very material light game, and it's kind of working for now, but this might stop at some point in future. Oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? I don't know. I still can't do 2 different activities. Oh no, I do have an activity, the sweat glands, but it's only if it's warm or hot. Can't do anything with this. What have we got here? That's no good. can't build another statue. I can't build a settlement. I could build a farm. Ooh. Ooh. Right. Let's do that. So I'm going to use a 6 and a 3 turned into a 4 with an idea. And I'm going to build a farm here.
That is a pretty important farm.
Okay. And when you build a farm, you get an idea. Done.
It's quite a...
Time for me to hunt. 4 and a 2. Rolling some dice
Where are
for
you
the
hunting?
hills. Any of the hills, it doesn't matter.
Please.
Great.
So you're hunting in the hills.
And which is best, 5 or 2?
They're both 2 food.
Well, then I guess I get 2 food.
Okay.
If I spent an idea, would I get a 3rd food?
Yes.
Then I'll do that.
Chris, final turn for the 3rd era.
Okay, so I want to play and no, I can't do an achievement because I can't change 2 things. So I'm going to play a mutation, which I need a 6 and a
6
2.
and a 2.
So I'm going to take this, and seeing as I am rolling millions of 3s.
Did you have 6 ideas just a second ago?
Yeah,
Dude.
and I've spent them all, but I feel that that was very useful. So I'm going to play the compound eye. I've
Compound
got
eye.
2 vision, so that's that. I'm going to play it into the 2nd level, but there's no extra
It's
cost.
just 2 vision.
So I immediately flip research over.
And the special ability for the rest of the game is...
Whenever I gain a card from the face-up research stacks, I can choose any of the face-up cards,
okay, you
not
can
just
go
the
through
top
it.
one. Yes, I can
That's
basically
good.
leaf through the cards.
And you're putting that in stage 2.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
We are all done. So, Grimwolves, no Grimwolves. Glacier.
Everyone ran away.
Well, apart from this guy who's still frozen
Still
from like
still cold.
2,000 years ago. We still haven't found any Mystic Oaks. Feeding phase. These are all fed.
Nice.
I pay 1, 2 food.
I need to pay 3.
I need to pay 3 as well.
Okay. Points for strong tribes. I have 4.
2, 3 for me.
5 for me, please.
Event. So the weather gets warmer by 2.
We
And
can
now
have income
everybody
or
can,
activity.
yeah, so income or activity. I'm going to do,
And we're about to score a brown. It's basically spending money for 3 points, right?
I'm going to do income and I'm going to get a focus marker.
I'm going to spend the money for what will soon be worth 3 points.
I'm going to spend a one money to got brown track as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of points.
And the rest of the event says we gain
So, it
3
is-
points
yeah.
and put a resource in the territory
So
for
each civilization, so we'll start with me. So 3 points for each of my swamp and desert territories. I'm in this desert here, so I get 3 points, and I find some copper in the desert. Stevie,
Similar. I'm in a desert, but I found sand instead, and I'll take
get
3
3
points,
points.
please.
and Chris,
I'm in 2 swamps.
you get 6
I
points.
get 6.
You find some coal here and some tar here.
Nice.
Next is the scoring criteria. 3 points for each step up the technology
Ooh.
track. So I get 6,
I get 3,
you get 3.
and you get 21.
Is it 3? Yeah, it's 3.
Yep.
21 points.
Which means you will be the
You
first
become
player.
the first player.
Okay. Well, that's easy because
Income chips. I'm going to get 2 focus markers. Never had that many focus markers before.
Just going to roll to try to complete a goal.
You've succeeded.
So I happen to be in 2 different hills.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same now because I can actually complete a
And I
couple
get
of
to
goals now.
upgrade a module.
But I got 5, which is no good for me,
No.
even with an insight idea, but I have none.
Worst number for you.
Yeah. Well,
Stacey is asking, have the rules changed on reset? The ones on page 32 under additional notes say that if you are out of markers, you take 1 from the supply as an idea upgrade. Okay, thank you very much, Stacey, for confirming that. Slight correction on what I said. If you reset in the situation that probably won't ever happen, but if you do reset and you've no reset markers, according to page 32 of the rules, you do get a marker as an idea or a thing. I will need to check my script for the how to play video to make sure that that is what I say. I'm sure it is, because I've followed the rule book for that. Are we all done with our income?
yes.
statues. My statues are worth 5 points each because I've polished them. I got 3 of them. So
There are thoughts running through my head.
99. You can't beat gold polished statues. What I would say, it's a life motto.
I'm sure they're all statues of flowers because
Oh, absolutely.
you have gilt the lily.
Yeah. Right. Remove hunting markers. Okay. And then refill your reset markers. And off we go for the final era. And this time we'll play through all of the steps and not get excited and carried away with ourselves. New cards. Stevie, what is the event?
Brainwave. The civilization that leads on the knowledge track gains the top face-up orange card from the research display inside cards and may install it immediately for free.
Ooh.
Will also get slightly colder,
Okay.
but not terribly cold.
Right. New goals. Chris says we need a new income chip as well.
So the one at the top's 3 up the
Which
techno.
you've got.
Yeah, I will take that. Most definitely take that one.
Have a goal
Thank
that
you.
you've already done.
Yeah.
That's for 2 different grasslands. That's for 3 in the same forest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do I think I can pull off? I'm not in any grasslands, but I'm next to 2 of them. Jade. I have a jade on the board. Let's take that. Maybe I'll pick it up someday. All right. Then I'll refill the goals and we'll move on. Extra fine time.
Extra find.
Oh.
So, Chris, you can have anything that's in swamp or forest. Built that there. I'm going to have some herbs.
Take some wood.
Double check. Yeah. Salt it is.
All done.
Think so, yep.
Actions. Right. Last era.
Back in the thick of it.
Right, well, I'm going to do a reset, which makes this fairly easy to start with.
All right.
Okay. So. Okay, now I'm going to do it. I'm going to use a 4 and a 1, and I'm going to do a super explore. So I actually explore from this desert.
All 3 of those places.
That, and that,
and then
and
something
another one,
anywhere on the board.
and 4 points.
Yeah.
So we've found the Mystic Oak.
Finally.
We have found a cave. We have found a mushroom valley. And my final exploration is going to be here.
All right.
It's a glacier.
And you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 from your bonus. 4 more from this. 18 points.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
10.
10,
Oh, 14 points.
14. 14
14
points.
points.
So I get one of these.
Status chip.
And yeah, that's it. So let's have an explanation of what these do. So we have the Mystic Oak. Now we've been talking about Mystic Oak during this game because in the scoring phase at the end of each round, the Mystic Oak will give points to anybody who is adjacent to it. It depends what territory you're in. If it's water, swamp or desert, it's 2 points. And if it's anything else, it's 1 point. So right now, I would get 2 points in the scoring phase because I'm there. If I also had a tribe on a boat here, not just a boat, it would have to be a tribe on the boat, I would also get another 2 points for this. The Mushroom Valley we've already seen, the glacier we've already seen, but the cave is new. If there is only 1 cave in the game, it doesn't actually do very much, but every territory which is adjacent to any cave is adjacent to any other cave. Sorry, yeah, to any cave. Now, that's only for the purposes of migration, not for anything else. So what that means is if there is another cave on the board, you can migrate into the cave and then out of the other side. It also means, and I'm going to use an example, let's say, trying to find something. Let's say let's say this was a cave, right? If this was a cave, then this forest is adjacent to the cave, and this desert is adjacent to the cave as well. But normally, this forest is not adjacent to this desert. But if this was a cave, then it makes them adjacent to each other. So you can even go adjacency through the same cave. That's only for the purposes of migration. But ultimately, that was a 14-point action, and that's why I did it. And also, I found a glacier here that might hurt Chris.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. You're welcome. Stevie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a wormhole, basically.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do 1 and a 2 as a research action. And I'll take... Is that right? This was a good idea a second ago. Let me rethink. Yes, we're going to try it. No, wait a minute. I used to have vision, and now I don't have vision anymore. Take this one instead.
Okay. I just worked out what I was going to do, and it's planning. That's it. So I can complete a goal. So I use a 3, and yeah, I got an idea from. So I've got a 3. I'm going to use an idea to turn that 5 into a 4, and I'm going to complete a goal. And I'm now going to complete my swamp goal so I can get out of it afterwards. So I've got 2 people in 2 different swamps, 1 there and 1 there.
Yep.
So I'll flip that over.
Yep, so upgrade a module. And also you've completed stage 1.
Procreation, I think. Okay, so that gets me an income chip, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Completing stage 1 is an income chip. And then you activate that income chip.
That's a goal I've already done. Might be coming up. I think we'll go with this one. Might as well go actually there, I think. So roll a dice. It's a 1, so that succeeds. So can I go 1 up the culture, please?
Oh, the purple
The
track.
purple track.
Nobody's bothered with that.
No one here but us Philistines.
Okay. That's my go then.
Okay. I'm going to do a... I'm going to do that. What's the upgraded building action? I think it's 2 of the same build. Yeah, it is. Okay. We're going to do that. Is that going to help me? Yes, it is. Okay, so we are going to do a thing. I'm going to use this as a 3 because it is a 3, and this focus marker is a 4, and I'm going to plan and I'm going to complete a goal. And it is this goal to have 3 tribes in the forest, in the same forest, which I have. So that has emptied a stack, which means I can upgrade a module. So I'm going to upgrade my building module to level 2, and I'm going to slot it in there, like so. And that's me done. The exploration tiles are a fixed set. Yes, exactly. So all of these site tiles, there is exactly the same ones each game, and you know exactly how many there are of each. So there are 6 building grounds. There are 3 caves, 2 mushroom valleys, 2 mystic oaks, 2 gorge of the grim wolves, 2 glaciers. Yeah, again, it's all in here. It tells you exactly how many there are of each type and what each one of them does. There's a holy rock that we've not found as well. It helps procreation.
I use the 6 and the 3 to gain 3 ideas.
It's 1 to 3. No. And I'm migrating. I've tried to do a fate test, but it's failed, and I don't have any ideas to change it, so I can just do 2 migrations. I feel like I had a reason why I wanted. Oh, it's to get away from that glacier. That's why I wanted to migrate.
Run away.
So we'll go up here and then into the desert. There, like that. And that's
You
me.
get 2 or 3?
2,
2. Okay, cool.
Yeah. because I failed my fate check.
So
Favor check.
I had an idea, but I don't know now if I want to do it. No, I'm going to. I'm going to use a 6 and an idea to turn the 5 into a 4. And I'm going to activate my building module level 2, which means I can build 2 things of the same type. I'm going to build 2 boats. So we've not seen boats yet, but you can build a boat in any territory that you are adjacent to. So I'm going to build a boat here because I'm adjacent to that. And I'm also going to build a boat here because I'm adjacent to this. And then the benefit of building a boat is that I may choose to immediately move a tribe onto that boat from an adjacent territory. So I'm going to move this tribe onto here, and I'm going to move that tribe onto there. Now, once you are on a boat, then you can move off that to an adjacent territory. So I could migrate now from here down to here, and being in this water allows me access to this. But one of the main reasons for being on a boat is that it's the best hunting ground, because you get more food in the water than anywhere else. And to answer that question, I know you're all thinking it, you can procreate on a boat.
It says so.
It says so in the rules, but you can only have maximum of 2 tribes on a boat. The other thing about the boat that I wanted to mention is when you build a boat, it comes with a marker in it. Now that marker is a material, but the material it isn't determined until you transport it back home. And at the point you transport it back home, you look at the adjacent territories, and that's what it could be. So this marker here right now could be a copper, it could be oil, it could be wood, it could be sand, it could be papyrus, or it could be jade. So that one...
Or even iron ore.
Or even iron ore, yeah. So at the point I transport that back home, that's when I determine what it is. And suddenly, I will get lots of resources.
And on that
Quite good.
stunning note, I'm going to have a reset.
Okay, I have a reset. Chris.
Okay. I'm just gonna spend what's the 2 and a 6 mutation, but I don't know how I can move them. Actually, I need to do that. So yeah, I'm going to do a 2 and a 6, and I'm going to use it for the left action, which allows me to move two of
your feature markers around.
Yes. So I'm going to move. I'm actually only going to move 1 to there.
Okay.
Like that.
Right. I'm also doing a reset.
I'm going to do a transport action with a 5 and a 1. I'm going to bring home 3 items. There's that jade that will later complete a goal for me. There is a papyrus and sand are my other options, so let's just take 1 each.
Okay, I'm going to reset as well. I'm going to leave that 2 there.
Only
We don't
3
roll
resets
more.
left in the game, folks.
And I roll a load more. Brilliant.
I'm going to use
Absolutely none of the numbers that I actually needed.
focus. So my sustenance module has been upgraded to level 3. That means I can do 2 hunts. So it's more because I'm hunting here
Boat fishing is cool
and I'm
sometimes.
hunting here. So for the first fishing in the water, oh, nice. I'll have 4. Yep,
Wow,
I have 4 food.
that's a lot of food.
It is. Lovely, tasty fishes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a benefit to having more than you need if you're wondering why I'm doing this. And this one is next to 2 mushroom valleys. And I think I am going to have to look up a rule. I think
You can double the bonus.
if you double the bonus, it's not in there. I'll have to check the rule book. Mushroom Valley. I'm pretty sure you get both of them because I've got an example in the how to play video. Yes, if it is adjacent to both Mushroom Valleys, you get 2 additional food. So I'm going to go hunting here.
It is.
I mean, a 6 in the water is 3. That's fine. Plus 2 is 5. So 5 food.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
Don't know how you're going to manage.
All that food.
It's a lot of food.
Mm,
Nobody's going hungry here.
then
12 food. So you can actually have more food than will fit in the thing. We haven't talked about prosperity yet. I'm going to talk about that at the end of the game. But any excess food and money that you have that goes outside of the box will not count towards your prosperity.
Let's do a planning action with a 4 and a 3 to finish a goal. This one that needed a jade. It's been completed. I could place this here and upgrade an action. All done.
Okay, I'm going to use this idea to turn one of my 1s into a 6. I'm going to use the 4 and do a building. I'm going to build. No, I can't. I need to do migration first, so I'm not going to do that. I made a 4 and a 1, didn't I? Because I'm not next to another building ground, so I can't build another settlement. So I need to move this person there. So we'll do a 1 and a 3. That was it, to do a migration. So we'll roll to see whether I get to do an extra migration. I do, so I can do 3. So this guy is going to move into here and get me 2 points. And I don't need to be in swamps anymore, so this guy is going to go 1, 2 with the other 2 and get me another 2 points. And I develop this grasslands and find herbs. Sorry, herbs.
Herbs.
They're
Okay.
They live in the city. They're urban herbs.
And that's my turn.
Okay. I've been deliberating
With who?
myself. Best person to deliberate with. And I think I'm going to use a 5 and a focus marker to procreate. I'm going to do a favour check first. Anything other than a 6. Fine. And I get 2 new tribes. So I'm going to... I am going to kick out yellow. So I become weak, you get pushed into the wilderness, I get 2 points. Just greedy for points.
I think they're how you win the game.
And I'm also going to procreate... Yeah, let's procreate here. Here's another 1 point. Okay, it's me done.
I'll use an idea and a 6 and a 4 to do a building action. I've upgraded that to the top level, so now I can build 2 things that are different. One of them will be a stone and a papyrus to build my second settlement, and the other will be a farm. Farm is going to go into the desert where it will feed these 2 people. Settlement can go over here. When I build a settlement, I get an income chip. So I'll take this one that possibly gives cards. And I don't have to put it here, and right now that's not even worth any points. I might finish this by the end of the game if I give it a real hard try. So let's do that. And I can immediately use it. So if any of these dice are a 1, I get to draw a card for free. None of them are. Oh well. That's my turn done.
Yes, there are 100-point markers because you are probably going to score over 100 in this game, sometimes over 200.
So my guy's in the wilderness, but I can still use...
The only difference it makes is that it's 2 food to feed them instead of 1.
That's it.
That's the only difference.
Be sure. Okay, so I am going to do the building action this time. So I'm going to spend that 1 to turn that into a 6. And that is a 4. And I'm going to build my second settlement here. And that will cost me a papyrus and a wood.
You get one of those resources back.
Yeah, I'm going to take the
It's a
wood
papyrus
back.
Oh, you already built the second one.
Oh, it's papyrus and stone. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. So I'm going to keep the stone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the benefit of building a settlement is you get an income chip. Oh, we need another income chip. Yep, have an income chip.
Okay.
There is another benefit as well to when you've built your 4th settlement, which is to do with these tiles that we briefly mentioned at the start, but nobody has done anything which has flipped one of those over yet.
I'm going to take
No,
this
need another
one, which lets me do a fate check to try to get another person. So I'm going to try and do that now. It's a 4, so that doesn't succeed for me, I don't think. No.
Would be an idea, but
But I have completed stage 2 now.
so now you do get to flip over one of those things.
Yes, so when you complete stage 2, you get to flip over one of these scoring tiles. It starts off the game inactive, and by flipping it over, you are making that stage worth stage 4 7 points. So you would always flip the stage 4 before the stage 5.
Yep.
And you might think, well, what's the point of flipping that over because you don't have anything in stage 4? Well, you do. This initial card here is actually at stage 4. So by flipping that over, you've gained effectively 7 points at the end of the game.
Yep.
And if you manage to get anything else up to stage 4, good luck with that. It's quite hard to do. Nice.
That's everything.
Yeah. Lots of income chips. And you were getting the income chips because you've been building settlements.
Because I built another settlement.
Yeah. I've been considering doing that. One problem I have with this game is that I get to the point and then go, oh, but I could do that. And then I get distracted.
It's important to prioritize things correctly, yes.
And at this stage in the game, me deciding to get some resources to build some settlements, it might work.
I've got a load of cards that would have been better for me if I had played them before I left the forest. That didn't work out.
I mean, all I need is if I can build 2 settlements and get 2 income chips,
Yeah.
then that's actually 3, 6, 7, 8, 15 points. And I'm not sure what else I'm going to be able to do. So maybe I do that.
I mean, I was helped by being able to get resources back when I built.
Yeah.
So
It's very efficient.
Yeah.
So I'm going to produce. No, do I transport? Oh,
You could transproduce.
I could next time. What do I need? If I'm going to be building 2 settlements, I need 2 papyrus, a wood and a stone. If I want to build the cheap ones. Well, I can't get stone from my boat. Where is the stone? Where is the stone?
We haven't found it.
So the stone is
way
there.
over there.
We know the stone's there.
Mhm.
You got the stone because you got an extra find, didn't you?
Because I used it as
The
my
extra
when
fine.
I was still in the mountains. Yeah.
Yeah.
You found the lucky, never expiring stone.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, getting that stone is tricky, and me getting all the way over there, it's not going to happen. So the other option is buy it, but because it hasn't been revealed,
It's $4.
it's 4 money, and I don't have 4 money.
Yeah, but you also don't have anything you can sell to get the 4 money.
No. But I'm about to get some
I
resources.
think I'm in the same situation, but with clay.
So you could still end up with a stone via exploration.
Oh, the lucky find.
Mm-hmm.
We've not explained the lucky find, have we?
Oh yeah.
That could work, except I'm not in the mountains. I'd have to be in the mountains to potentially
take a
find
migrate?
stone. Yeah, I mean, territories. Each territory is worth 2 points at the end of the game.
Mhm.
Oh, it is tricky. I think I'm going to do a 5 and a 3, and I'm going to produce, and then I make a favour check, and I can bring one of those things up. So what are we going to produce? And I think I can do them in any order. So we'll do the favour check. I've succeeded, and I'm pretty sure, and I'll just double check this.
You don't have to bring home something that you produced.
Don't think you have to bring home something that you produce.
It's just a normal bring
Yeah.
home,
So I'm going to bring home this.
which could be all sorts of things.
So this could be jade
Or wood.
or
Iron
copper
ore.
or oil or wood
Papyrus.
or
Which is down there, isn't it?
iron. Where's the sand? Or sand. Where's the clay?
Clay's the one that's not been.
Clay's not been found.
Yeah,
so we
that
know
was
that the
me,
clay's
yeah,
there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or the papyrus.
because clay's what I need for if I wanted to do my next
Okay. I'll
settlement.
I'll
It's
bring
not
this home as jade. Right. Okay. So that's my bringing one home. I'm now producing 2 things. So I can produce there. And I can also produce. Don't really matter this, does it? Let's produce there. Okay. I go done. Probably wasn't the best move.
A 6 and a 2 to play a green card. I have a Proventriculus. If you want to tell me what that is.
I've no idea.
The picture refers to some sort of facial feature.
Okay.
But at any rate, it's a green card, and it gives me some favor, which is why I'm playing it.
Right.
So it's going to go in here.
Stage 2.
That's worth some points, and it will help me complete the second stage. Sorry my turn was so simple, but it's over now.
Well, mine's going to be even more simple, so...
Are you resetting?
Yes, 'cause
Okay.
I'm not liking all the 2s that I have.
I am also resetting.
I have bad news for you all.
Oh, no.
I am also resetting. So we have
one more turn each.
one more turn
No.
each after this reset.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
No one wanted to hear that. I hope you rolled well. I rolled 4 5s. How about you?
I'm not going to be able to feed anyone, so...
Do you want to borrow some food?
Where'd you get all that food, Paul? One more stunken turn.
Okay, so we have one more turn each. Wow. Triple reset.
Oh, I've got an idea.
You do.
Yeah, it's good. It's the only one I didn't roll to use the 6s with the one card that I've got is the one... Oh no, it's a purple card. I needed 5.
Right, final turn of the game. Off we go.
Right, well, because I think it's going to end up with being the most amount of points, possibly. I'm going to play and playing games while playing games.
Okay, nice.
So I'm going to do an achievement with a 5 and a 6. And I need...
What stage?
Oh, it's going to have to be in stage
Stage
3.
3.
So I've got 2 intelligence, 2 vision, and an
one
expressiveness.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so it
So
immediately...
games increases your knowledge
Yeah,
by 1.
and my culture by 2.
Okay, so you've crossed over the purple threshold, so you can upgrade a purple module, which isn't going to do anything for you because it's the end of the game, but
Just slide that in.
Yeah.
Like that.
worth some points at the end.
Yep. Okay. That's me then.
So my last action of the game. Well, what can I actually do? I think I should probably procreate because extra tribes are worth 3 points each at the end of the game.
Oh, I've forgotten that.
Whether they're, you know, standing up or lying
Oh,
down.
it's going to be lying down. That's alright then.
My other option is do an activity, move up on 1 track. That's not going to get very much. I could migrate into more territories because territories are actually worth 4 points each. 2 points because they're here, and 2 points because they're here. So that could work as well. But I think I'm happy with that.
Oh well.
Can't do this goal. My first goal that I took in the game, I can't do. So might seem a bit weak, but if I was to transport 3 things back, yeah. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to transport 3 resources back home.
Yep.
Wow.
Makes
Right.
sense.
So I'm going to transport this, which I'm going to have as iron. I'm going to transport this, which is papyrus. And can I get any stone or gold?
Nope.
No. So it doesn't matter. So let's have this as oil. Okay.
Trying to find things that are going to be worth points here. Bringing stuff home myself. I think I only have a sand and a papyrus on the board, and those are already filled, so those won't be worth any points. Procreating, I guess, is probably the way to go, because I have a little bit of room in my farmed communities. If I ended up with 2, that would be 4-ish points, 6-ish points. That's probably the best that I can do. So,
All them 5s.
use an idea to turn a 4 into a 3 and then a 5. Sorry, no, I don't need to use an idea. Procreation is a 5 and a 2. There we go. So let's see if we get twins. We do.
We do.
So one of them can live here happily, and the other one needs to go out. I guess we'll do the thing where we boot ourselves.
Yeah.
And get 2 points
2
for
points.
it. And that's the action.
Okay, so Gorge of the Grim Wolves, none. Glacier. Is that it?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay.
We found a Mystic Oak.
Mystic Oak. So I get 2 points for that and 2 points for that.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 points, please.
Because you needed them.
Yep. Feeding. So I don't feed those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 food. Sure.
This farm feeds everybody in a settlement and half feeds the person in the wilderness.
Hang on. I'm going to be clever here.
Are you?
And you'll see why later on. I'm only going to spend 3 food.
Keeping the prosperity. Yeah.
So what that means is 2 of my people didn't get fed.
Yeah.
So if I don't feed one of these, they die.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I'm not going to feed that one. And I'm not going to feed that one.
Weekend on a boat. Wow. Castaway. Right. So, yeah. This fella here is not in a settlement, so the farm
He needs 1 food.
He needs 1 food, and then this fella over here needs 1 food.
Yeah. Just enough.
Okay, I've only got 1 food, so that guy's going to need 2, but then he's going to die, isn't he, if I don't feed him at least 1?
No, he just
No.
falls over.
Yeah, he needs 2 food,
Yeah.
or he becomes weak.
Oh, so it doesn't... Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it's still just become weak.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to feed one of these 2 guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter at this point, I guess.
So that one goes to lie down, and
He's going to lie down as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've done that. Points for strong tribes. I have 1.
6, please. Don't worry, you're still going to stay.
Sorry, 2.
Don't think I am, but we'll see.
Okay, the weather. It gets cooler. It's now raining again. Everybody gets to do 1 activity. I will do it.
I've got nothing to spend.
I'll spend the money,
Yeah, I'm completely
and I
broke.
will move up this track.
I should have built some farms, and I would have got some
What if I
point
could?
Spot.
But I can't, so I won't.
Yeah.
The event. So the civilization that's leading on the knowledge track.
There isn't one. Nothing happens.
Oh, but if I'd have done that, I could have installed that for free. Can I change my mind on that?
I mean, it's the same
I'd
point.
forgotten about
Oh
that.
no, it's the installing the card is worth
So
more.
instead
Yeah,
of
for
that,
sure.
I do that.
And that gives you the single
And then I
majority.
get this, which is installing the top face-up insight card and installing it for free.
Which gives you 2 more points on the green track.
Which gets me 3 points. Oh yeah, that was even better. Can I have 3 points, please? Oh, and that's
I don't think it's going to make an
that was
outcome
crazy,
at the end of the
crazy
game
good stuff.
anyway. It's just
Okay,
Well,
scoring.
it's gonna be
2
ahead.
points for each territory that you're in. So I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 territories. So 10 points.
3,
6 for me.
6 points.
and I think 6 for me as well.
6 points. So I get this, not that it matters. Income. At this point, you really just want points, I think, unless you've got something
Is
clever that you can do.
Complete a goal.
It is
would
complete
take
a goal.
Right, I'm going to try that at least then, because I can complete either of these 2. And I've got
With
an
an
idea,
idea,
so I
turn
can
it
change
into a
that.
1.
Yep.
Nice.
Doesn't really matter which goal I complete at this point, but I'm 3 out of the technology, and I'm going to put it there.
Can't go there.
It has to go above.
You already
It's
have
under
a goals
doesn't
column,
it? You're
yeah.
right. I did this yesterday and forgot that. That's fine.
And you upgrade a module as well, but
Which doesn't matter.
Which isn't going to
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'll take 4 points, please.
And I've got 3 more. Is it just 1 income or is it all income?
It's,
So all your incomes. Yeah.
it's all of your incomes.
Yeah, so I did that one for that, and
Yeah.
I've got 3 more, so I'll just take points for those.
1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
I get
That's
2.
going to be the
Can I have 2 points, please?
you can.
Statues. Can I have
0.
15 points? Hunting markers get removed, refill the things. We don't need to do that. We now go to end of game scoring. So, First thing is 1 point for each step up on the technology track. So yellow gets 7, blue gets 2.
Yep.
Red gets 1.
Yep.
Then points for the prestige track. Blue gets 8.
Yep.
Red gets 3.
Yep.
Yellow gets none.
Woohoo.
Next, the knowledge track. 2 points for blue.
Yep.
1 point for yellow.
Yep.
Next, the construction track that was randomly decided to be worth more. Blue gets 8.
Yep.
Red gets 1.
Yep.
Next is the culture track. Yellow gets 3. Me and Stevie are like, culture? Right, next, and I'm just going to zoom in on these. We have evolution. So it is 1 point for each of your feature markers.
3 for
Which
me.
is what this is. So 3 for red.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for me, which takes me up to 100.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
You've
Stevie.
retained your dignity.
Next is prosperity. So it's time to talk about prosperity, which we haven't talked about at all yet. Prosperity is represented by the diamonds. And if we have a look at my playboard, I think it's this button here, I might need to move things around a bit, you will notice that you get these diamonds for various reasons. First of all, for each completed column of food, you get 1 prosperity. For each completed column of money, you get prosperity. If you have managed to remove some of these settlements, they are worth diamonds as well. And then the final thing is the materials. And this is why I brought back the materials at the end of the game. Because if you have materials, at least 1, in the 2 adjacent spaces, you get the diamonds that are shown. So prosperity, I've got 1, 2, 3, none for any of this, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 prosperity in total.
Times 2 points.
Which is 12 points. Dump.
For me, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
So 16.
16. Bump, 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 bump.
Oh, I get dignity.
Yeah.
And I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
12
So
points.
12 points.
Okay. Next is 3 points per tribe, and it doesn't matter whether they are strong or weak. And that is why I chose to not feed a couple, because I lost the points for this, but I actually got more points for the prosperity.
Yeah.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tribes. So 21. So 1 and what's that? 20.
Also have 7.
There you go.
22
So I've got 3.
for 9.
You had 3 tribes at the end of Era 1.
Yeah,
And you've still got
yeah,
3
I just didn't
tribes.
procreate
Yeah.
all for ages.
So 9 points.
That's
His
21.
civilization is an elite squad of specialists.
Yeah, they just migrated from the swamps to other places.
2 points for each territory that you're in. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 territories.
Yep, another 10.
10 points.
I'm in 3,
Same.
so that's 6 and 6. Yep.
And then finally, the consoles. So going back to the console, everything that's in stage 1 is 2 points. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So each gold tile is a separate chip. So that's 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, 25, and then that is 29. So I got 29 points for my installed cards.
29. So
29.
that's
So knock one off.
10,
47.
47. Cool.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Mm-hmm.
13, 16, 19, 22, 25, 28, and
32.
32. Slightly better, but
32 for red.
So 10, 20, 32.
And Chris. 2, 4,
Okay.
6, 8, 10.
Yep. 13, 16, 19, 22, 25,
28,
28,
32.
32, 36,
And that
and this one's
scores 43.
43.
43,
Good.
nice.
So I'll do 3 and then 40, 10, 20, 30, 40.
Okay. And then the final bit of scoring is if you have any cards with a scoring criteria on,
Mhm.
like I do, Mine is 1 point for each ship in that column, so I get another 3. And I think, Chris, you've got 1 as well.
I do. I've got 2 for each one in this column, so that's 4 for me.
4,
And I have a similar set for 6.
6. And that is the game.
Can I borrow this?
Sure.
Makes this look a lot better.
Sure. So, the winning score was 250.
Yeah.
Nice round even number.
You
Nice.
planned it like that the whole time, right?
I did. Yeah. What an unusual game this turned out to be. I drew 1 card the whole game.
Yep.
Right. That's it.
I'm not sure I've played enough to know what a usual game is. They've all felt
They-
very different.
Yeah.
And the reason why they feel different is you will accomplish about a third of what you want to accomplish. I didn't build any settlements. I didn't really do anything with the money. I wasn't really building. I didn't really do very much of this.
You were the only one to have built boats,
I wasn't doing any resources at the end.
and you were very good at getting points
I
out
was.
of the end round things.
Yeah. I was getting a lot of points from this.
If there is a thing in the game, it's that these end of era and end of game and event cards all very strongly push you in a direction.
Yeah.
So you could let yourself be led around by those and do quite well.
Yeah. But what one thing that I had in mind, because I love this card, polish.
You just
So
want to
I
build
went,
all the statues.
I'm just going to build statues. I'm going to move my favor up, and I'm
Yeah.
going to polish the statues, and that alone got me
That was
45 points or so.
Yeah, about
Something.
that. 45,
But
50.
that's where my resources were going. I didn't have that many. It was
Yeah.
get a gold, build a statue, get a copper, build a statue. But there's so many different
Yeah.
ways that you can play this game. I've seen some people really go for it with the cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because once you've got level 3 research, you can be drawing 4 cards and
Keeping
choosing
the
2 of
leg.
them, and then drawing another 4 cards. And once you know the cards,
Yeah.
you can actually start looking for specific cards or ones that you're going to be able to play. Whereas I was at the mercy of I'm never really going to be able to play this.
Yeah.
So I just kind of gave up on it in the end.
I never quite had the right dice at the right time to be able to pick 4 inventions, say, and be able to then chain into that a little bit more. I mean, we played with the same starting hands that
That
we
you did
did yesterday,
And
and
even
I'd
that played
still
out
done a
differently.
different, slightly different game to
Yeah.
what I did.
So one thing we said we were going to mention at the end of the video that we didn't see was the attacky cards.
Steady, death, kill.
Here it is. Anytime you see a card with the red axe on it, that means that this is a card which will have a negative impact on other players. And like it says on the card, whenever you displace a foreign tribe from an encampment, it is weakened and you get a point. So there you go. So things like this will affect other players. Venomous Sting. After you've migrated, if there are any foreign tribes in the territory that your last tribe migrated to, they are weakened immediately. So there is a little bit of the aggressive player interaction, but it's with the cards. Were there any modules that we didn't see?
That we didn't use at all.
We saw the sleep module. We saw the research module. We saw people doing that to draw cards. We
Yeah.
saw migration a lot.
We saw trade. We discussed activity.
We discussed it, but I don't think anybody ever did it.
No,
I had a few cards that would have been interesting
Yeah.
to use them.
Yeah.
My Proventriculus, for instance, lets me pay 1 food and pick 2 territories and stand everybody up in those territories.
Right.
So it basically allows me to not worry too much about food.
Okay.
People dying from that.
Interestingly, that this is the one that I started with, but I never got another activity. So I could do 2 different activities, but I couldn't. And even if I'd have upgraded it to level 3, it would have allowed me to do 2 of the same activity. But in order to power that, I would have needed a supply of money coming in, which means I would have needed to trade, sell things to get the money.
Yep.
Didn't do that at all.
Also found it interesting that I bought most of the dice in the market.
I normally do that.
Reset
Yeah.
the fewest of anybody,
Yeah.
and that did not by itself give me sort of like action advantage.
I bought 1 extra pink die because having 2 dice up here
It's quite good.
Yeah.
really removes the luck element. I didn't buy another white dice, and one thing I was going to do near the end, when all the white dice have gone,
Take
I
one
was
from
going to
me.
buy one
To take one from me.
because it would have taken it from you.
Yep.
But at that point, Chris was closer to me on points, so I didn't.
Fair.
But if you were closer to me, I possibly would have taken one of your white dice. In terms of other actions, we saw exploration and we saw how that works. What we didn't see is we didn't see this lucky find. I'm not going to explain this now. It is explained in the how to play video, but it is a way that you can find resources that you would not normally be able to find. We saw the sustenance, although we didn't see the right-hand side of sustenance, which is to stand people back up. We saw planning. Did we see the improved planning?
No.
That is gain a goal and complete a goal in either order. So that's quite nice. We saw transport. We saw procreation. We saw production. You did the sale and purchase ones.
Yeah.
We saw gaining a new dice. We saw playing a purple card. We saw building. We saw playing a blue card. We saw gaining ideas. We saw the mutating. We saw the inventing. So
it was all there.
we pretty much saw most of the actions in the game. The one thing we didn't see is the attribute chips. And to be honest, you can play the game and forget about these. I'm not saying they're not good, but what I'm saying is so many times I have played this with new players and they've spent the whole game and they've played the game and then they went, oh yeah, you did tell me about these. So I'm just going to, if you pop those back, I'm just going to show you what the attribute chips are. So there are 3, in fact, let's take them and put them here.
Give them the zoomy zoom.
I'll move my board out of the way because we don't need that now. So there are always 3 attribute chips in the game at the start of the game. Whenever you take one of them, you replace it immediately. But the special rule about these attribute chips is you do not have to spend an action to take them. So literally on your turn, at any time in your turn, no matter what else you're doing, if you meet the requirements for the attribute chip, which is always 3 or 4 of a particular feature, you spend one of them and you take the attribute chip. That gives you a special ability for the rest of the game. The attribute chip is then replaced, so that there's always 3 on the board. But an attribute chip it's a colour all in its own. So if you look at the income, remember I said that these were wild cards. This is invention cards, this is mutation cards, insight cards, building cards, achievement cards, attribute chips, and goals. So this is actually its own type of chip, and you can use this to help complete a stage, etc., etc. So yeah, it's another type of chip, but I've only ever seen one of these taken in all of the games that I've played.
The abilities are very good.
They are very good.
The feature requirements are very high.
Yes. And the reason why I haven't seen many of these taken is because people are generally learning the game and there is enough stuff going on that they forget about these. But don't forget about them.
Might be fun to just go in with the mindset of like, I'm going to get one and see what happens.
Yeah, because some of them give you bonuses every time you do a certain thing.
When we had the event, I changed like resources into those. If I hadn't have had cards that I wanted to move, because then I used a mutation to move stuff around. But I did that so there were a few cards that I could play. But if I hadn't have had to do that, then I'd have probably taken one earlier in the game and moved them into a place that I could have.
I mean, worst case,
taken one of those.
You put it and you slot it there, and it's worth 4 points at the end of the game. You know, it is a chip. We're all done. Thank you very much to everybody for watching. I hope you found it useful. And as I said at the start, sponsored video. So we're not going to give you our opinions and tell you whether we like the game or not. But I hope it helped you make a decision about whether it is the kind of game that you want to buy yourself. It is going to be available at Essen. I believe the pre-order price is €80. Pegasus Games North America are going to be doing the distribution of it in North America. Deep Print Games and I think Pegasus Germany are going to be doing European or anything like that. Let me know what you think about the game. Thank you very much to you two for putting in the time and effort to learn the game yesterday and before.
I've been looking forward to this for a year.
You have.
And shout out to all of the Slack channel members. Good to see you in the chat.
Yes, thank you very much to all of my Patreon supporters. If you like the content that I create and you want to support me and support the channel directly, you can do so at patreon.com/gaming rules. If you are a Patreon supporter, you do have access to other behind the scenes playthroughs, including a special one tonight, which won't go public, but we are doing a Patreon only stream tonight. Right, we're all done. Time for some food.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Thanks
Cheers all.
everyone. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.